Live from the Toad Hop Network studios.
In Hollywood,
This
is the ToadHopNetwork.com.
A place of our own without a lot of parents peering down our backs.
Radio worth watching.
Now, you want to talk about an opening theme song? I did that for you, Mark Ellis. That is exactly why I played that song right before we started here. It's the Schmoes Know Podcast. I'm Christian Harloff.
I'm Mark Ellis, and the original Halo was the last video game that I was great at. And I am still great at it, and I'll take on any of you kids out there. I just don't know how to play on Xbox 360.
With our guest tonight, I don't know if you want to be saying that, but...
Bring it, Kenny.
Exactly. Kenny Napzok is not Tiffany Smith. Tiffany Smith is caught in a lot of traffic right now. It is crazy right now. It took me almost an hour and 10 minutes to get here. It normally takes me about 25 minutes.
Women drivers. No, I feel really bad for her. I hope she gets here safely.
All right, guys, big show today. We have a very stacked show.
In honor of Tiffany Smith.
Oh,
not being here yet. We have a very stacked show.
We have a stacked
I thought
show.
you were referring to my physique.
Hey, and with that, how about, listen, we're very happy to have this guy in studio. We've been buddies with this guy now on YouTube for at least about a year. Maybe a little more since
Something
the
like
last
that.
year's
I feel like
viewers.
I started paying attention to everybody else like a year or so ago. So probably, I feel I was kind of like in a bubble and I didn't really like venture out into the world.
Yeah, and then it just and we talked to the last year Viewers Awards, and of course I'm talking about Eric Striffler from Pretty Much It.
Hello, very happy to be here.
Yeah, very popular YouTube movie reviewer as well. They talk about video games and comics and a whole bunch of other things too. And we're happy to have you in studio, man.
I'm happy to be here. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, so Eric's from New York. He is here in LA. What are you doing in LA?
I'm actually in LA with YouTube Next Up. It's a program where YouTube selects, this time around they did 30 channels that they think, that they kind of want to help out, and they gave us some equipment, they gave us some grant money, and they flew us out here for free.
What?
Yeah.
Where the hell's our man?
We live here.
Yeah, we don't have to fly us out.
I know, right?
Give us gas money.
Wow.
But yeah, I mean, it's like there's 30 other channels. They're all awesome, and so this is our second week, and it ends tomorrow, so I'm going to be very, very sad tomorrow because I got to say goodbye to everybody. But,
oh, man.
I mean,
it's like camp.
Exactly. It's like camp, only I got money.
Yeah.
I didn't get money at camp.
Dude, you didn't get money at camp? I was selling Toblerones under the table. Like
You got it, yeah.
He's going to come back like a conquering king to his people.
I know.
So you're are you like the lead? You're like the leader of the crew, the Pretty Much It crew.
Well, I mean, only because I do all the editing and stuff like that.
Right.
So,
But you started, didn't you? You had your own channel.
That's true, yeah. And so did Mike, actually. Mike has had his own channel for a long time. Jake also has had a channel on his own for a while. But I think, kind of like the one who...
You were Pretty Much It.
Yeah, I was Pretty Much It.
Look at Ellis.
I started the channel Pretty Much It, and then brought in all my friends and stuff like that to kind of share the fun.
How long ago did you create the channel? Pretty Much It.
Okay, well, the channel itself, I mean, I got to take you back to my previous channel. I was doing movie reviews and just news and stuff like that on a different channel when, I don't know, like 2007.
Yeah.
And then I decided that channel had no future as a brand. You know, we're going to get all, like, businessy here.
No, but that's interesting for people who are listening, too. So why did you switch?
Yeah, I switched because, it was a channel that was basically just, like, it was my old MySpace name. So it was like, if I brought any friends on, it's like being in a band that's named after the lead singer.
Matthews Band, right?
Right. It's kind of, I mean, I guess that's cool, but I wanted to, if anything, I wanted to even be able to phase myself out eventually one day and still have it exist if I wanted to get behind the camera,
Right.
Mm-hmm. So, but then it turns out, actually, though, that plan kind of went away because I'm having so much fun with these guys. Now that I finally brought in my friends like Jake and Mike and Kevin and Paul and all those guys. Yeah, we're having so much fun that I decided to stick around for as long as I can.
And look at him now. Now he's beating creepy older guys he met online.
I know.
Exactly.
Big move.
He actually thinks he's on the air right now.
Yeah. Wait a minute. Why are you locking the door?
Yeah,
Kenny, get the paddles.
Those aren't our interns. Those are our gimps.
Oh, no.
Wow. You took this to a weird... I made a lighthearted internet joke, and you went right for the basement treasure.
Yeah, this is getting to be something else.
It's Pulp
I gotta
Fiction.
go, guys.
There's no girls here. All right, look. So we have a really good show here. Eric's going to be here. We're going to talk about the movie news because Eric on his channel also talks movie news like we do. So there's a lot of cool stories that broke this week. We'll talk about those. And then we have at 8:30 we're going to have Derek Hoffman, who's one of the producers on X-Men Days of Futures Past, which is going to be so cool to talk about. We'll see what we can get out of him. I don't know how much.
Man, I wore my shirt.
Yeah, I know.
I have a legalized mutant shirt on because, X-Men and all.
Yeah,
I love X-Men.
And I say keep those mutants underground. I don't approve of their kind.
Well, Derek has worked on all of them. And I mean, for the last actually since 2002, he's been on them. So
we're just gonna practice our torture stuff on Eric and see what we can get out of him. And then when Derek comes in, that's the real.
Yeah. Right. So we're doing that, and then once 9 o'clock to 10, Eric's gonna leave us because he doesn't want to get spoiled because we're doing a full hour on Game of Thrones.
Let me just say that right now, everybody in the room. I know I'm sure all of you are down with Game of Thrones, but I'm only on episode 5 of season 1.
All right.
So
these goddamn dragon eggs. I don't know what to make of
them. Yeah. No. I mean, I know a couple of little things just because I never expected I was really going to watch the show, so I kind of didn't, look away. Mm-hmm. But my buddy forced me to watch it, and
now you're hooked.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not hooked, but I'm into it. I'm a Breaking Bad guy.
Yeah.
That's where I get hooked.
I was with you when I was 5 episodes into it, and now after seeing season 2, I'm a total.
Yeah, I hear it gets crazy.
Yeah, and that's the whole thing. So again, we're gonna get from 9 to 10. That will be the Game of Thrones. But before we get to the news, for those of you guys who have been listening was that mine? Give me that stupid thing. I don't know how to turn the stupid vibrator off.
You can co-host a podcast.
Yeah. Anyway,
that's
true.
Put your phone off vibrate.
So last week we started, Mark, and you weren't here for this.
No, I was freezing in Ohio.
Right.
What happened?
You know about it. Don't play coy.
Yeah.
So we have a contest going on to where between Ken Napzok, our producer, Shoozy Pants, JTI Josh the Intern, Wildman Josh McCouga, and Mark Riley have a contest going on. Eric, I'm not sure how much you know about this as well.
I know a bit, but maybe give me a quick refresher.
All right, so this is basically all they need to do. Whoever gets the most Twitter followers by May 1st wins 2 months free of Movie Pass, gets to come with us to our Man of Steel screening, and a date with Kristen DeLuca. Johnny, can we show them who Kristen DeLuca is?
Is she the local librarian?
That's Kristen DeLuca.
Oh, okay. No, she's not the local librarian.
She is not ugly. And
not tough to look at.
So she is. They will be able to win that. So all you guys out there, the way Schmoville determines the winner. Whoever you guys want to see go on a date, yes, we're going to tape it, and they'll be able to go out with them. You guys just have to follow that person.
I think I speak for everybody when I say poor Kristen DeLuca. My God, that is not exactly a boy band you want to be choosing from.
We don't know who won yet, and what we're going to do today around the 8:25 to 8:20 mark, we're going to do a contest. I sent Kristen DeLuca a bunch of questions.
Yeah.
And she answered them. So now we're just going to ask the people who are involved in that contest what they thought her answers were.
I can't wait to see what the questions are. I can't wait to see what the answers are.
That's a little later. So right now, it's time for the news. Are we ready, Johnny Ice? We are. Johnny's a pro, dude.
I'm Ken Napzok, and these are your Schmozno headlines brought to you by Imperial Beer and what is now being called a tweezer. On Monday, 20th Century Fox released a 6-second Wolverine teaser trailer via Twitter and Vine for the 20-second teaser trailer they released on Tuesday, which was a teaser for the full trailer they released on Wednesday. Not sure all of that was needed, as the 6-second teaser for the trailer amounted to nothing more than a flash of a topless Hugh Jackman screaming. In other words, the same sex fantasy thousands of bored housewives have been having since Kate and Leopold was in theaters. No word on whether this trailer bonanza was prompted by our own Christian Harloff breaking the Wolverine trailer story last week right here on the program. When reached for a comment, Harloff proclaimed himself El Miami of the West. Speaking of El Miami, the Latino Review struck again. The website reported first that George St. Pierre, the UFC welterweight champion and excellent kicker of faces, has joined the cast of Captain America: The Winter Soldier. GSP will play Batroc the Leaper, a character described as a martial arts master and world's leader in the French art of foot fighting, which quite frankly sounds like a character created as a joke but accidentally left in the final draft. St. Pierre does have some previous acting experience, having appeared in Death Warrior, Hell's Chain, and Never Surrender, all available for purchase at your local gas station's checkout counter, right next to the off-brand Slim Jims called Fart Sticks. More Cap America casting news. Robert Redford will be joining the cast as a senior member of the S.H.I.E.L.D. named Pierce, who may or may not have been Nick Fury's boss. What's going on over there? Rick Fury. Nick Fury's boss. The Russo brothers-led project began shooting in May. For our younger reviewers, Robert Redford was like Brad Pitt back in the olden days of Hollywood, when not every other movie is based on a comic book. Bond 24 is pushing forward, but Skyfall director Sam Mendes will not be calling action for it. Mendes declined to direct the film due to scheduling conflicts, but he left the door open to return. Something that makes Bond producers Barbara Broccoli and Michael G. Wilson happy, as they announced that they are working to bring him back for a future Bond film. You know, the one starring Tyler Perry.
Oh, God.
The Michael Bay produced, Jonathan Liebsman directed Ninja Turtles project now has its turtles. I mean aliens. Alien turtles. Paramount had already announced Alan Ritchson as Raphael, but now joining in will be Jeremy Howard as Donatello, Noel Fisher as Michelangelo, and some human named Pete Plasek as Leonardo. They'll be joining Megan Fox and her thumb as April O'Neil in a plot that finds aliens invading Earth and inadvertently spawning a quartet of mutant reptile warriors known as the Ninja. Oh, shut up, Michael Bay. Just shut up. I'm Ken Napzok, and those were your Schmoes No
You just got
Headlines.
kicked out.
Brought to you by Imperial Beer.
You just got
Kenny
kicked out,
Napzok.
I just want everyone to know I'm late because Ken asked me to get him coffee on the way here.
Is that true?
No.
That is a fact.
You're fired.
That is a fact.
All right, Kenny, can we give our co-host the seat now that you've hogged it up for
Absolutely.
All right,
Rousing brand of news by
yeah,
Kenny
and
Napzok.
really good, really
seriously.
good.
Wow, that's next time you got to close with fart sticks, Kenny. I mean, that's your sign up.
You know, I was dying so hard because I thought of Attack of the Clones when Obi-Wan goes into the bar and he's like, "Yeah, you want to buy some death sticks?" And he's like, "You don't want to sell me fart sticks."
That's what
I just thought of fart sticks.
you are a weird guy.
I'm a weird dude.
Christian Harlow.
Anyway, speaking of weird, sitting next to me now is our co-host. She decided she wanted to show up for the show.
Oh my gosh.
Tiffany Smith, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome.
guys.
How are you?
Hi.
You do 3 successful episodes of Stacked, and you think you can show up late
No,
now.
you know what? You know what? I would like as I'm driving down here, I'm like so upset because I text you and was like, "What the f? You went to see G.I. Joe, and I told you I wanted to see it." And then I'm sitting in traffic and I'm reading tweets, and people are like, "It's because it's the G.I. Joe premiere." And I was like, "So not only did I get shafted not to see it, but I got stuck in
You
traffic
delayed
for
because
it."
of it. You couldn't even go.
It's the truth. So there were a couple stories that I was actually going to save for you because I know you'd want to talk about them. Let's get right into the first one. That's GSP being cast in Captain
Mother,
America.
It's like
Now, are you torn on this? How do you feel about this?
I love anything that GSP does. He is like a human superhero, like a real life superhero.
So you think because there's kind of some fans are up in arms on this.
But he's the guy. He's replacing Jason Momoa, right? Or is that
No,
something
that's
else?
something else. That's a different movie.
That's Guardians of the Galaxy.
Because I thought
Different
Tiffany
movie.
okayed that a little quickly.
Yeah,
because
no.
any
This
guy.
is
I mean-
Captain America.
Oh, this
the
is
guy-
Captain
Like,
America.
I
Actually, I
have
was
to say,
confused,
I
too.
would have to say that if I had to pick between Momoa and GSP,
Yeah.
No.
you gotta go
Oh.
GSP, man.
Oh, wait a minute. This is
Wow.
we're talking about this character.
But I know, but he brought that
I
up,
know,
so I
but-
just went there anyway.
When you heard Kenny's description of the character, the guy, martial artist, speaks French. I mean, it's pretty much
It's
tailor-made.
him.
I think what people are worried about, it's just a sports
he
guy who
act?
can't act.
Yeah.
Are you a big comics guy?
I mean, no, not really. I
Okay.
get kind of filled in by the other guys. I'm pretty much it, but I know a little bit. I probably couldn't weigh in on this necessarily.
Do you mind that athletes, if like, we don't know if he can act or not?
I was gonna say if he can act, then
Right.
he's acting.
Right,
Who cares?
exactly.
Athletes are just like anybody else. Sometimes they knock it out of the park. You go like a
Yeah.
Jim Brown, who's
Mm-hmm.
just great in anything. Sometimes you get Dan Marino, Ace Ventura, and it's like, you should stick to pitch and isotoner.
Well, the
Yeah.
thing about him, and I feel like this happens a lot with people who are starting out as actors, I'm like, if they're really nice guys, people are going to help them. They're going to make sure that they don't do an awful job. The director's really going to be in there with him. And
Yeah.
he is such a genuine nice guy that
Yeah.
I think if he is in on this, that people are going to really take care of him and
he's
look
got-
out for him. You
And he
know?
has charisma. I mean, look,
Yeah.
can he play a bad guy without looking like Jean-Claude Van Damme? We don't know.
But there was a time when people really liked
Not
that.
as a bad guy. Not as a bad guy. He's never been I mean, well, he was all right in Expendables 2, but that's years
He was
later.
great in
Yeah, he
Expendables
was
too.
good. He
Yeah.
was.
What's sad? It sounds like this fighting style has me confused though, because it's a French style, and he's fighting with mainly his feet. And I wonder, how did Shoesy Pants not book this role?
I know, it's true.
God.
It's true.
Just because he likes
tried.
feet doesn't mean that he can fight with them.
Just, put a foot in front of the guy, he'll go to war for you.
Now we had some
Oh,
other
gross.
stories that were pretty interesting as well. Kenny, what was the one right before Tiffany barged in the door and ruined the whole rhythm of the show?
You know what?
What was it?
Hold on.
All right. Well, nobody's prepared.
Yeah.
You're talking about the Michael Bay Ninja.
The Michael Bay Ninja Turtles. I mean, this thing. I had seen something on YouTube and I had commented on it.
What did you see?
It's just a joke.
Yeah,
It's
what
a-
even? Is it even worth talking about? Because it's like it's not. Is it even
No,
a
the
thing?
news. No. But the news came out. The
Yeah.
news came out that it was these actors got cast, and
Yep.
Yeah.
and I'm not just judging somebody because they were cast in Twilight or whatever too. But
Wasn't
what
the guy who played Aquaman?
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know.
Smallville
I don't
cast
know
in it
all
too,
these
I
guys
think.
by name. That's for sure.
That's what I liked about hearing that. I mean, there's so many things wrong with this project, from the get-go, from the Michael
Yeah.
Bay, from the
Megan
aliens.
This is like
Fox.
the
I
only
don't have
good
a
thing, right?
I don't have a problem with Megan Fox. I think it's weird that Megan Fox is like the star you're going to lean on. That's kind of like drafting a kicker first in your fantasy league. If it's like, let's make sure we nail April O'Neil casting
right.
before we get to the Turtles.
Yeah.
But I like having the Turtles as unknown because I don't want somebody super famous to overpower
Right.
it
Right.
being Leonardo or
Also,
Raphael.
being
you know?
in this movie, they don't have to worry about it ruining their career if no one knows who they are. To begin.
Exactly.
That's right. Right, yeah.
But what it was,
There's like a line around the door to ruin your career with this movie already. So.
Yeah, it's just something about it, just the way that it's not necessarily these guys. They could be great actors. What it is, it's the way that they're casting. It's like they're trying to go after teenage girls or something from the way that they're casting. I don't know.
Well, Megan Fox is teenage boys.
No, not from her. I'm talking about the turtles.
Well,
you're not
I don't even know what they look like. Are they?
They're like Twilight actors.
Are they hot? Is that what you're trying to say?
They're Twilight, yeah. I mean, again,
You're not like.
you're not going to see them though.
That's the thing is they're going to be
So what
turtles.
does it
but I'm not
matter?
saying. What I'm saying is,
Living in a
it's the way they're
Twilight world, a
announcing it.
post-Twilight Hollywood, we could get sexy turtles.
Yeah, then God help us all.
Here's the thing where I think Harloff made a great initial point, and now I'm like a drunken parliamentary guy, like, hey, sit down, Harloff, before you back up.
Yeah.
I think that it just feels weird. It feels almost like, remember that Godzilla movie came out in '98, and you're like, look, I'm really excited because there's Godzilla on the poster, but nothing about this feels right going into it.
Yeah.
That's the vibe I'm
Right,
getting.
right.
And I don't want to say that about Ninja Turtles.
It's like
love those
Transformers, where the Transformers took a backseat.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
yes,
To like,
yeah.
to
Humans,
like
and
Shia
that-
LaBeouf,
yeah,
exactly
right.
right. So this almost is coming off as the same thing.
I'm worried about
they're
that.
not casting anyone that the turtles would take a back seat to.
Well, we don't
Megan
know
Fox
that.
is the
Except
only
for
one, I
Meg-
guess.
maybe
Right.
she'll
Yeah, but
like.
still, we just
Reporters don't dress scandalously.
I just hope the alien turtles get to Earth faster than Tiffany Smith gets to a podcast. That's
Yeah,
what
yeah.
I'm
I'm
really
gonna
hoping.
throw my
for.
coffee in your face right now.
Speaking of G.I. Joe, by the way,
Yeah, I'm glad.
Just
that was
rub it
that
in
was
my
the
face
best
some
segue.
more.
Yeah.
yeah, dude, there was a segue, my friend. She was the
Yeah.
whole reason she wasn't here. Like she was late because of G.I. Joe,
Yeah.
and the reason G.I. Joe today, by the way, there was an announcement that it possibly go with a merge with Transformers. There was a merge that they
What?
There was
I didn't hear about
There was an
this.
article that came out that there was a possible merge, and the only reason. There's a reason I'm excited for it is because Marvel did a series back in the day, Transformers versus G.I. Joe.
Yeah,
Oh,
somebody
okay.
get El
So
Mayambe
this-
on the phone. I want to know. I need this confirmed. That like my head just exploded.
I don't.
because
Yeah, it's
It's a
rumor.
pre-existing
it's a
thing
rumor.
then. It already exists.
It
Oh, wow,
happened
okay.
in the mid '80s. You hated.
I hated that. I don't know if it might.
Yeah, you're on.
Yeah, you're on.
Yeah, that I don't like comic mashups. I don't like the concept of uncanny Avenger Super X-Men team. Give me my worlds and keep them separate.
Why?
I never liked the G.I. Joe Transformers crossover. I didn't need them to be in the same world.
But don't you think now, especially after this shitbox universe that Michael Bay has created for Transformers, that it could use something like if you're going to go that cartoony, why not? Why,
the
but you haven't seen the
Transformers to
new
bed.
G.I. Joe though, but the new G.I. Joe tone would work. For, and you
yeah,
know me.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not-
Transformers?
We're the two big G.I. Joe guys in the room.
Yeah.
And,
hi.
no, comics.
playing
Yeah.
Smurfs.
Yeah.
I'll go play with my toys by myself.
I'm excited that Cobra Commander looks like Cobra Commander
Yeah.
again, all that kind of stuff. I put the Transformers to bed. Let someone reboot it in 5 years.
Yeah, but you got to look at the history of film. There's been a lot of good mashups. You have Freddy versus Jason. You have Alien versus Predator. Billy the Kid versus Dracula. I can go on and on. It sounds too cool to not get me excited though. You know, I know I don't like the Transformers movies.
Yeah.
I like one out of the two G.I. Joe movies. One was a huge miss.
Can I
and
guess
one
which
was
one?
a pretty big win.
Yeah.
But if you get the right tone, I'm gonna be really rooting for that.
Yeah.
You know.
I just feel like two things. One, mashups for me in comic books, usually it's a one shot. So it's not like a full length series, which I feel like a full length feature feels too much. It
Yeah.
feels like it's too much to
I
give
mean,
to
again,
them.
I think what they're trying to do, Hasbro's doing, because Hasbro has just missed all around the board. They're trying to do what the Avengers and Marvel has done. Obviously,
did
Well, and the
Well,
other
yeah.
thing I feel like is interesting is that, I mean, G.I. Joe, people are saying it's good. Why are they putting this out but why are they putting this out right now? Like, I feel
You
like
like
they
focus on
already
G.I.
have
Joe?
enough.
It's-
the wait till, like, the
it's rumored.
excitement from G.I. Joe.
It's not announced. It's rumored.
okay.
It's a total rumor, but it's just one of those things.
Like, how do you deliver the line? Like there's explosions everywhere, and The Rock is like, "There's one man that can help us with this." Optimus Prime.
And he's not even a man.
like Roadblock, you've been
Like,
at sea
sadly,
too long.
that makes me excited, though. I'm like, I was doing this.
Yeah, then Shia LaBeouf pops out, and then it's all over.
No.
Exactly.
He would look like a I don't know what, like
Awful.
a miniature figurine next to The Rock.
It's the
The Rock could not fit into Bumblebee. There's a lot of things we got to change
The
about
Rock
this
legitimately
universe.
looks like he looks just like a rock. He
looks-
literally looks
He's-
like a
he's
stone.
huge, yeah. He was the best part of the new G.I. Joe movie. But we got to move on for a second because it's time, Mark. It's time for the
What?
quiz.
The
boy.
the
It's
quiz
time
is
for the
happening.
quiz.
Okay.
So, Johnny, we'll get the Jeopardy music up here in a second because
we go.
So here, Tiffany, this is what
Am I getting quizzed on something?
You're not going to get quizzed because here's what
In
I had.
episode
Thank
8
God.
of Game of Thrones.
I had everybody.
Careful.
I had everybody who was part of this contest submitted their answers, and then I would go over them and find out who the winner was. We're going to read a couple of the questions so Schmoville knows, and they can answer too. But we have a clear-cut winner. I was going to do something like if there was like a vote or two, then Tiffany would answer the questions and it'd be like a bonus round. But we don't need to because
and these are date-type questions that you asked to Kristen DeLuca.
Yep.
And she was free to answer not just the boy band that's competing for her affection, but also me and you are in this mix as well, right?
Yes.
We're not competing to go on a picnic with her because I don't do picnics.
No, we just gave her enough. We gave her a bunch of options so that it was a little harder for our guys. So Mark and I, so Schmoville out there, and Tiffany, I want to answer this as well.
Okay.
And Eric, you can answer as well too, even though you don't know everybody that
I don't even
well.
know what's
Still,
going on.
that's fine. And I want Schmoville to do it as well. So each question I ask, just you guys answer through Twitter, through Facebook, and then I'm going to tell you at the end who won this, and whoever wins. Eric, will you tweet out the winner? Like last week, Jeremy Johns tweeted out and he told people to make sure they follow Josh the intern,
Right?
So he he endorsed him. Will you endorse the winner of this contest?
If that's the way we're doing it, yeah, sure.
We're gonna endorse the winner on a video. So this is a big contest.
A big push.
Yeah, right now, Josh the intern is up. He has this is the score right now. As of last week, Josh the intern has 81 followers since
Twitter
last
followers.
week.
Wow.
Josh McCouga is number 2 with 46. Kenny is number 3, 44. Shoesy Pants, 24. Mark Riley in the shithouse with 19.
That's true to the LA Lakers there, Riley.
Is Facty McFacterson even trying to get more Twitter followers?
I don't even think he knows that he's in the contest.
I think he's hanging back. I think he's a snake in the grass.
Because there's a Superman film at stake.
That's what's so weird. You don't want to, like, it's even if you don't want to go out the model, it's like
fuck the picnic. You get to see Superman.
Yeah, he wants to be in
The
it.
winner gets 2 months of movie pass and gets to go with them to the Superman, the Man of
What the
Steel
heck?
trailer.
yeah.
I want to be in on this. Can I win the date?
If you go out with
well,
Kristen DeLuca, yeah.
you probably
we'll
just
get,
won
if
right
you
there.
agree to go out with Kristen DeLuca right now, we will just get rid of everyone in the contest.
Yeah, sorry, Josh.
I just want to go see Superman.
All right, fine. You're more red than his cape right now. All right, so
I'm not red.
Here we go. All right, so John, do you have any background music while we do this thing? All right, that's fine. All right, so here we go.
Yeah, this will put us in a romantic mood.
It's perfect. All right, so everyone out there in Schmoville, which 2 guys did Kristen DeLuca say are marriage material?
Which 2 guys did Kristen DeLuca say are marriage material?
Now, all you guys out there, there were 2 people, so all you guys out there right now that are playing, I'm going to read the answer. Make sure you look at your board. Here are the answers. The answers for the first 2 were Ken Napzok.
Really?
And Christian Harloff.
All right.
None of you guys put the married guy. Of course she's going to put the married guy.
I put that. I put you.
Oh, okay, well then there you go. You just
I
put
didn't.
yourself though. Okay, so here's the second question: who did Kristen DeLuca say just looks like all around fun? All around fun guy.
Out of all of us.
Tiffany, what do you think the answer is?
I said Makuga.
That is incorrect. The answer was Mark Ellis. All around
Nice.
fun guy, right? So mark those.
How
on your
little she knows.
Mark them on.
Hey, you want to play Tetris?
Yeah, mark them on your scoreboards, kids. All right. So, who does Kristen DeLuca think is a mama's boy? Who does Kristen DeLuca think is a mama's boy?
I said Shoesy, right?
Kenny, you said Shoesy Pants? Josh the intern, you remember what you said? Shoesy? All right. The answer was Josh the intern.
Oh no!
I think I put JTI.
The
Did
answer
I
was
do
Josh. I
it?
think
Bingo.
so.
Yeah. I have bingo
Josh
over
was
here.
Josh the
Kinda true.
intern. All right.
It's
So
kinda true.
mark them all down. Okay. So. Who did Kristen DeLuca think looked like a pedophile from the picture that I sent to her?
Well, wait a minute. That's not fair.
Why?
What picture did you say?
No.
We didn't get to see them. We didn't
Yeah,
get
wait
to
a
see
minute.
them.
That's the whole point. They have
What
to
if you
get
said a
the
picture of
guess.
a
I'd like to
pedophile.
point out I didn't have approval over which picture she even saw of me.
Yeah, did you say
Yeah.
mug shots or what?
No. I'll tell you what the picture was in a second.
You have
but
to see that.
Who did she think looked like a pedophile? The answer was Ken Napzok. It was a picture of you holding a thing of whiskey. It wasn't even that bad. That's what she said. You're like, I took it on
It
Facebook.
was like a womanizer, not a pedophile.
Not in her book.
You talk about Kenny going from the highest of highs, being marriage material to Kristen.
Yeah, wait a minute. Yeah, she said he's marriage material and a pedophile.
But she also thinks he looks like a pedophile.
Yeah.
all over the
Interesting.
place.
I just
Interesting.
I'm just-
it doesn't
listen,
say anything about you.
This is all I'm saying.
That
All
she
right.
said.
What 2 guys did she think looked like good kissers? Who does she think
like
looked like
good
2
kissers?
who could be good kissers? So JTI thinks himself. JTI, stick your mug in there. Who did you say? Two guys.
Me and I think I put Ellis or Makuga. I can't remember.
All right,
you
good.
think that he looks like a good kisser?
I think that Chris Luca thinks he's a good kisser.
Oh, okay. The answer was Makuga and myself.
She's wrong about that.
She's wrong. My wife would confirm that she's wrong about
See,
that.
this is weird because you saying that is kind of giving me a weird message, though. She's wrong about him being a good kisser, is what you're saying? Yeah. All right.
Well, wait. In all fairness, Kenny kissed Christian when he was underage.
Oh, no, well, that makes so much sense, doesn't it?
I don't even remember this.
Stop it.
Hey
It's
guys,
all coming full
I bet
circle.
Josh the intern's texting his mom right now to make sure he can stay out late.
All right. So I hope you guys are keeping your scoreboards here. Where's Shoesy Pants? Is he even around?
No.
He's getting there.
Oh,
got
good. So he doesn't even know if he's winning or
He's
losing.
doing his job.
All right. So who does? Oh, I missed it. Sorry.
Oh, no.
All right. Who did she think
Alex Trebek
would
never
take her
plays.
to a movie on the first date?
That's a great question.
JTI.
You put okay, Eric. What do you think?
Wouldn't it be everybody here?
No, we got one. It would be one person.
I know, but I mean, couldn't it be literally anybody?
She probably
Yeah.
could have, but she picked one.
All right, I'll go with him just because he just said he'd go with him.
The answer was Mark Ellis.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. I feel like that's completely random.
All right.
Why
random.
did that like
If
evoke
you
such a funny
consider a
response?
movie theater my apartment with
Yeah.
2 lean cuisine pizzas, we're
Yeah.
going to a movie theater, kiddo.
Yes.
Get your movie pass ready.
Who did she think that she'd have to call the cops on after the first date?
Well, now I'm going to go with me.
I was going to say, yeah, the pedophile, obviously.
The answers don't all
Okay.
match up.
All
I'll
right,
tell you
all right.
that.
I was going to say.
The answer was Mark Riley.
Hey, who's on the board? Not in a good way.
Yeah, not in a good way. Okay.
I love
Kenny
his
just
response.
pulled out
Oh, no.
handcuffs.
He pulled out I'll say very small-looking handcuffs, too, by the way.
All right. So, who would she brag to her friends about? Mark, what do you think she said?
I'm going to say she said Makuga.
That is correct.
All right.
She bragged about Josh Makuga.
Yeah.
Who do you everybody got this next one right, by the way.
Oh, no.
Who does she think would
scared.
creep her out? Shoesy Pants.
Shoesy,
Yeah. Yeah, that was the
Poor
correct
bastard.
answer. The only one that didn't get that right was Shoesy Pants. Who did she think would be scared to look her directly in the eyes because he might leave a wet mark on his pants?
Oh, no.
Her words.
Oh,
Shoesy.
she wrote that?
She wrote that, yeah.
Wow.
Shoesy.
The answer is Joshy. She sat in his lap. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
All right. When looking at this person's picture, she said, "Where is the weed?"
Josh the intern.
The answer is Mark Riley, which is a
Riley.
pretty.
Where the
pretty
weed
accurate.
at?
I just want to see that picture.
Yeah. 2 questions left. When looking at this person's picture, she felt like she stepped back into Ohio in the 90s. Maybe he'll buy me a Natty Light beer.
Mark Ellis.
Yeah, I would say I'd do that.
Answer is Shoesy Pants. And who did she
Shoesy Pants isn't buying anybody a
Yeah.
beer.
Who
You
did
can
she
barely
say?
catch him.
Last question. Who did she say just looks good all the way around?
Come on.
Well, we got fun all around over here, but
Yeah,
that's not
just looks
necessarily
good. No,
good,
no,
Not
right?
necessarily
Good.
good looking.
I don't even remember who
Let's analyze
I
this one.
The answer is Josh McCool.
Oh.
So,
He's not even here.
do you guys, if you guys have tallied
Not
up,
even here.
If you guys have,
You're so
if you
upset.
guys have tallied up now, we're gonna. So, who the winner is now? The
Yeah.
winner now of this contest. God help us all.
Oh no, it's the what?
Shoesy Pants.
Whoa!
Shoesy
Shoesy
Pants.
Pants.
Shoesy
Get
Pants
outta here.
got about 6 right. I can't believe it.
Guess the most. So now Eric Striffler is gonna tweet.
Everybody,
follow
yeah,
Shoesy Pants?
we have to give him a shout
Indeed.
out on a video.
What?
Yeah.
Oh,
Shoesy,
jeez.
Shoesy Pants doesn't even know that he has won the contest. Should we rig it and tell him that he didn't win?
Oh my gosh.
No,
No,
because
alright.
you know
Well,
what? Like,
does
if
he listen to the show?
wins the date, I think it would be the most awkward, amazing thing to
Well,
watch
we're going to put him in
ever.
a suit, and you know what? It'd be great to put him in a suit and give him a box of chocolates and like a DVD and a DVD of Forrest Gump would be amazing.
Yeah, but Christian, you're putting our whole operation at risk here. We have to give a show. We have to make a video. Let's review like Mad Dog and Glory or something that nobody's gonna
Nah,
watch.
you got to give him a
You know?
shot. You got to
And
give. You got to look. A contest
He
is a
needs
contest.
some like pre-date coaching.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
no, that was what I was going to ask you. Justin Marino has already agreed to this. Whoever wins, will you and Justine help the person pick out wardrobe, help them out, get them prepped for the date?
I mean, you know what my
Pretty
answer is
woman
going to be, but before I just
walking
answer
down
it,
the
does that mean I get to go see Superman too?
Maybe.
There's
Then
a
my
chance.
answer is maybe.
Fine,
I
there's a
mean,
chance.
of course I will.
All right. Okay, guys.
There's
so,
only 9 people in front of you for that ticket, so there's a chance they could all
you
get the
kidding
chicken
me?
pox by
so
May.
yeah, that's
You know what?
All right. Anyway,
I thought you guys loved me.
Let's get back. When we get back from our break, we're going to talk to Eric Schiff a little more about some of the movie news.
We're going to talk
more stuff
movies
that's going on, and then Derek Hoffman from the X-Men franchise is going to be joining us. And then a little later on, it's Game of Thrones time. Be back in a sec. How about that? We give him some cans?
Fight for freedom wherever there's trouble. G.I. Joe.
How about that for a theme song? You like this? Tiffany really rubbing it in now.
G.I. Joe is there.
No, I love that cartoon. It's good, but I haven't heard that in 10 years. I've heard that in a long time.
It's pretty great, isn't it?
I didn't really. I have like certain songs from cartoons I remember, like the X-Men song I remember.
Right.
Well,
well, guys, we're back here with Eric Striffer.
Hello.
Eric Striffer from Pretty Much It. Tiffany,
Hello.
stop it. Tiffany Smith, Mark Ellis. Joining us now is our good buddy. He hasn't been with us since the Toad Hop move. Last time you were with us, we talked about, I think, Heroes and Villains. Our pal from, he's producer Derek Hoffman from the X-Men franchise. Uh-oh, everybody. What's up, bud? How are you?
Good.
We got to get you in that mic.
My new best friend just walked in.
Oh, with the beers? Here you go.
So I just don't know how we're going to do this without a baby and like.
Oh yeah, no, that's right. That's right. Last time Derek was on the show, my daughter was just born, so she was like, yay big, and I literally had her over my shoulder while we were doing the podcast
really?
all the time.
I
it
was like holding
Nice.
her during part of the thing.
Yeah, it's true.
This is what like Rob Cohen must feel like when he sees the Fast 6 trailer.
Oh,
Like,
because it's
it
complete.
started out, it was this little baby,
right?
now it's grown into this huge,
you walked in,
massive
it's so
thing.
different, yeah. But Derek's here to talk about.
There's 24 people around.
Oh yeah, it's a whole crew. It's a zoo now. We just had this whole thing. And by the way, Shoesy Pants, I don't know if you know, but you won the contest. Yeah, you can dance around the room. That's fine. That's fine.
God.
Yeah,
Just
MacGyver's
put your
barking.
arms down.
Yeah,
Just put your arms
that's
down.
good. That's who Kristen DeLuca is going to be going out with.
Shusey, was that your running motion for the LA Marathon right there?
All
It was
right.
good.
So we have a lot of stuff. Derek's here. We're going to ask him about some X-Men Days of Futures Past in a second. But before we do that, we have a phone call that I want to get to that I talked to some of you guys about before the show. There's something there's the great thing about movies in general and talking about movies is everybody has a different opinion. Obviously, there's nothing right, there's nothing wrong. I saw this guy's post. He's a buddy of ours. He's called into the show a couple times, and he was talking about Die Hard 5 or whatever the stupid movie's called, and he was defending the
say
movie.
Die
which
Hard
is-
5, that's
yeah, but he was defending it, which is fine. And his points. I wanted him to talk about his points, and then I wanted to discuss with him, and then I think we can kind of tie it into the other movies that are coming out that are similar. But joining us on the phone is Jose Romero. Jose, how are you, man?
Hey guys, been a while.
It has. You
Howdy.
gonna drop some
Hi.
pipe bombs or what?
Now I'm ready. I'm all ready to go.
All right, so
Tell me when.
All right, let's hear. You've got the floor, my friend. Let's hear your take on the latest Die Hard and why you think people have been too hard on it, and why you think it is a good Die Hard movie.
Well, here's the thing that people misunderstood from the post that I put on Facebook. I never said that this movie was good, not even great.
That is a
I
strong.
said
That is
it
a way
was-
to come out strong.
I said,
Yeah, good argument. Yeah.
Yeah.
I said it was watchable, that it was enjoyable. Now, here's the thing that I said also in my post, is that a lot of YouTube critics have been saying that, oh, this movie makes John McClane look like a superhero. It doesn't make him look like, that risk-taking cowboy that we all know him to be. And I kind of also said, well, then again, if you think about the other Die Hard movies, didn't he also do some pretty risk-taking things that weren't logical enough? I mean, there was that whole thing in the first Die Hard with the C4 and then it exploding and then him being on the same floor and him still surviving. So I never saw the huge issue with the fifth Die Hard. But like I said before, the fifth Die Hard, for me, it's my opinion. Everybody, it's like a nose. Everybody's got an opinion,
Mm-hmm.
I thought this movie, even though wasn't as good as its previous takes, still managed to evoke that same cowboy versus bad guy spirit as the other films have been able to do, which made it for me a lot of fun to watch and very enjoyable, especially because I'm a Die Hard fan now.
He's a Die
What
Hard
I don't get-
fan.
He's
right?
a Die Hard.
What
fan,
I
right?
don't get about this whole thing with Die Hard, the fifth Die Hard movie, is the fact, what did people expect from the trailer? What did people expect from the director attached to the movie? The dude did Max Payne. It's like, in other words, walking into a minefield and not expecting to explode.
That's true.
It doesn't
That
make
is
any
damning
freaking
praise.
sense to me. And critics are like, oh man, it kills the Die Hard franchise. No, it does not. Sure, it's not. It's probably the weakest link of the series, but it's not that bad. It's still enjoyable to watch if you're able to push aside the fact that it just probably doesn't stay as true as its previous takes. I mean, even Die Hard 4 still manages to be, true to the other three films, So all around, Die Hard 5 for me, enjoyable, watchable. Would I recommend it for people? Maybe not, but for me, I still enjoyed it.
All right, so Mark Ellis, then, would you like to respond to Mr. Romero?
Great points all, Jose. That was a well-spoken message you had. I agree with some of your points. My biggest problem is that the movie is not unwatchable, but when you put Die Hard on the poster, that is supposed to elevate it from a normal, stupid, clunky action movie into an all-time great, and this one was not that. It was not a Die Hard movie. So, and you can say you look bad from the trailer or who the director is, but it's still going to disappoint me. It's not like I'm going to go in and be like, hey, guys, the director's shit, so let's hope this movie's bad.
Hell yeah.
Like that I don't think that's the proper mindset to go into a movie saying, I think it's going to be shit, especially when you put Die Hard on the front. There were a couple moments in this one where I felt like, okay, now I'm watching a Die Hard movie, but they were short, they were fleeting, and because of that, because it felt maybe 2 minutes in a 2-hour movie, felt like Die Hard, it's not enough.
Eric?
You know what? Honestly, I'm not even specifically a huge Die Hard fan in general. So, this one for me, I went with Jake, and Jake is a big Die Hard fan. And, I kept looking at him like, yeah, is it okay? I didn't really care for it much, but I just didn't care for it on a level of just as a movie in general.
Right.
I wasn't really comparing it. So,
Derek.
Well, there's a question there in the middle of it all where the whole thing about the Die Hard movie wasn't just the guy blowing stuff up against all odds and everything. First, there was an amazing plot with the bad guy who his plan gets revealed halfway through, and you're like, wow, this guy is so smart, and
it's the
everything
villain.
is
right.
And then
there's no villain in this one.
Instead of necessarily John McClane being even smarter than him and everything, John McClane was just single purpose, like single-minded, and he was just the fly in the ointment. He didn't have to go around, and I think that's where people come up with the superhero thing is in the first one it was just, I've got one thing to do, and I don't even really care about your plan. I'm doing my plan.
It's almost like
and you
accidental
don't see that in those movies.
Right, absolutely.
I love that this feels like an intervention we're having for our friend Die Hard 5. Like, look, Die Hard, you've been drinking way too much. You think you're a cow? You're not a superhero, Die Hard. You're a person. We love you.
Can we go back to the villain thing, though? We were just saying a second ago. Honestly, a lot of times I feel like the villain is more important than your main character, because if you don't care what the villain's doing, actually, if you don't okay, what's one of the best villains of recent years? Say it. I know everyone's thinking it.
Vigo the Carpathian from Ghostbusters 2.
So close. The Joker. The Joker.
Or Javier Bardem in Skyfall too.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, Javier Bardem as well. But think about it, Joker. You love the Joker. You love to hate him. And in this movie, I don't even who was the villain.
They don't really know.
That chick and her
Hold on,
dad.
Jose.
Yeah, here's the thing. That's kind of also the same issue with Quantum Solace. It had the same issue where it didn't have a very recognizable villain, which is why people hated Quantum of Solace. Every Bond movie has that one thing where the villain is iconic and is able to challenge James Bond on an intellectual and physical and, other levels. And I'll admit the Die Hard movie did not have that. But, it's probably not going to be the last in the series. Maybe they'll make a final one, and maybe they might even end it on a high note. I saw a post on that post that I put on Facebook of someone saying that they hope that if they want to end it on a high note, probably bring back some old characters and maybe even end it on Christmas Eve. Probably end it with a film like that. And
bail John McTiernan out of jail.
Yeah, exactly. Well,
yeah, exactly. So all around, I agree with everyone's opinions. I personally feel that's what makes YouTube, especially for movie reviewers, great.
You don't agree with everyone's opinions. That's impossible.
Yeah, I love the differing
Everybody
opinions.
Can, say what they want, but the end result is, when it comes to your choice of movies, the only opinion that matters at the end is your own.
Yeah,
right.
I like it.
All right, Jose, drop the bomb at the end, buddy. He's great.
Should run in politics.
He should.
Before I go, I do have to say one more thing. I do want to drop one more pipe bomb.
Yeah.
I just have to say, Tiffany Smith, you are fine.
You just turned her red. Jose, thank you. That's why I had you call in, man. Every time you have your opinions, and I'm really glad that you called in. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate it.
Take care, guys.
Bye-bye.
See ya.
Thanks, Jose.
Dude, that was like a Die Hard because he yippee-ki-yay motherfucker with the everybody, the opinion that matters most is your own.
Yeah.
And then
Boom.
the Tiffany is fine thing. That was jumping off the roof.
That was the after
explosion.
credits scene, right?
Well done,
exactly.
Jose.
He just won a date with Tiffany Smith. They're gonna be double dating
I
with
don't
Shoozy
like. I
Pants
don't
and
know
Kristen
how
DeLuca.
me and dates has become something that you give away freely. movie?
Because why not?
If Kristen DeLuca can't go out with everybody,
Yeah,
okay?
it's true.
I just want to know if that was a Die Hard movie, who's Reginald Vell Johnson?
Shoesy pants. All right. Now, again, I wanted to get into maybe tying in Die Hard with Olympus Has Fallen and White House Down, but at this point, I think Jose ended it well. That discussion can go.
We got the guy from X-Men here.
That's what we got.
So you played Beast, is that right?
Let's
the blue
ask
guy?
the guy from X-Men about Olympus Has Fallen.
Yeah. Now,
what did you think?
Did you notice Eric's shirt, by the way?
Yeah, you like that?
I did.
It was pretty cool, isn't it? Yeah. So, all right.
I keep forgetting this isn't radio. I'm like,
I know. Yeah.
I don't know what. I don't know what we can ask you, what we can't. So I'm going to ask you. You can just stay silent on it or not. What's going on right now? How far along are you guys into shooting?
We're not shooting yet. We're
You're
in
not shooting yet?
pre-production.
Okay.
We're pretty close. A couple weeks.
Okay, and so Bryan Singer's back on the project. We know this. You guys have a ton of ton of old characters. You got Peter Dinklage this time around.
Indeed.
Have you met the man?
I have not met Peter yet.
Not
no.
yet.
Not.
So you got to be
We're
pretty
like ships in the night.
Okay, not yet. So and then Fassbender's back. The whole crew's from the last one's back.
You say that with questions.
No.
I haven't been on the internet today. Has something happened?
I'm just making matter of fact.
Yeah, no,
everyone's back from this. They're merging it together.
Okay.
It's
it's the Days of Future Past storyline from the comics. There's the X-Men First Class gang has their story to deal with, and the characters we've all known and loved from the previous parts of the franchise come back and surprise us.
That's okay. So that gets me excited.
Okay.
Now I know that Vaughn is off the project directing wise. Is he involved at all with he and Singer on the phone at all? They're talking at all?
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
I think Matthew has something he's directing, and then he's producing on the Fantastic Four movie. And
okay.
That's what you're at this point in the production process where it's a freight train. There's
it's all
you have
done.
our script. Things are coming up. Days are coming, and you got to get ready to shoot.
Eric, do you have anything as far as X-Men that you want to know about things that are coming up or characters that are returning, rumored, all that stuff?
Yeah, you know who I want to know about? Because one of my favorite scenes of all time from any comic book movie is the beginning of X2 with Nightcrawler.
Totally agreed.
Any word on that or no?
It was awesome?
No, yeah, exactly that. No, because I thought, I think it was McAvoy was dropping names of people that were returning and stuff like that, and I think he slipped in Alan Cumming, and then apparently that wasn't true. I don't know if I got the full story on that. What's the deal with that?
Alan is not. Nightcrawler is not in the movie as far as I know yet. Those things can always be hidden.
Gotcha.
But he's not in the
Okay,
movie.
gotcha.
I've seen the show Lie to Me, and usually people are lying when they look up and to the left, and Hoffman looked up and to the right, so I think Nightcrawler is not, in fact, in the movie.
Unless he's looking for a Nightcrawler.
Yeah. I have a logistical thing, because just as a producer on a huge movie like this, you guys are a couple weeks away from starting to shoot this damn thing, right? When in the process do you really start getting nervous and antsy and start shitting bricks? Is it right now, or is it once the cameras start rolling, or is that when you kind of breathe a sigh of relief when it's like, thank God we're starting to get stuff on tape?
The day before the movie comes out. Well, listen, I have the enviable position of being sort of middle management kind of thing. There's people who are much more important.
Give me that Milton stuff. You're not looking for your red stapler. You're a big time dude.
But it is. You're at the point now where everybody, you get nervous because you're about to jump off on a crazy adventure.
Right.
And there's a start date coming up, and it's coming, but. That's why you get the best crew you can. We have a lot of people returning from the first ones. John Meyer, production designer, Brian's worked with before. Thomas Newton Siegel is shooting it. So,
is Brian super excited to get his hands back on X-Men?
Oh yeah, he's in it, man.
Yeah.
That was pretty awesome being up in the production office and you're doing the thing and having him coming up with the new stuff, but sort of remembering, what about this? And when we did this, or remember when we didn't get a chance to do that? What about this?
I feel like it's that scene.
It's
like that scene in Rocky IV where he's in the mirror, but he's got a picture of Superman though on his mirror now, and he's just chasing after it. Now it's all about making the X-Men as cool as it was and forgetting about that Brett Ratner nonsense.
I see, and people bring that stuff up, and you get those questions get asked to him, and of course he has to respond. It's not. I don't know even how much Brian has ever really thought about those movies. We all sat and watched them all when we got started on this. We watched them all projected and back to back to back
for continuity and story.
Well, just to sort of get back into it. It's a lot of different teams and people
what
getting
worked
back,
and what didn't work,
and just sort of being in that world you were about to be in. And Brian's just kind of full speed ahead. It's not, I think everybody has whatever they think was a problem in this one, or the things that they loved in this one, or anything. So you can't say, I'm going to fix this, I'm going to fix that. And with a storyline like Days of Future Past, I think if you're true to the comic, the spirit of the comic, and if you make the best movie you can, at the end of the day, you will fix those problems by everybody going, okay,
just making amends.
This is a badass movie.
Yeah.
Well, and how does it, like, being a fangirl when you're reading stuff, you know, everyone feels like it's kind of their possession. So being on the other side of it when you guys are casting people or little things start to leak out, how does that feel for you guys?
Especially when it's the director leaking things out.
Well, there's a certain liberation to Brian, you know, doing it and embracing it. You're at a weird time in movies and making stuff like this because and JJ and Christopher Nolan, everything has to be secret and you have to do that stuff. But sometimes you want to be super collaborative about it. But you also don't want to give everything away. But it does feel like I mean, Brian's returning home, and it's like he's, you know, when I was sitting there and the two chairs were next to each other, and he's like, "Oh, we got to take a picture of this." And you're like,
He's like keeping a secret. It shows he's excited.
Oh, you were there when he took that picture?
Oh yeah,
that's
I
cool.
took one too. I just wasn't allowed to.
He's the executive tweeter.
Yeah, no, that's awesome.
But it is scary, and like because sometimes you're like, man, you would have if you could have just let that happen, you would have wet your pants.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask you a question though too, because I know that the comics follow. You know, this is the storyline that the comics followed as well. But doing the storyline, does it also was it inspired because of what the Avengers actually did and how successful they were? The fact that they merged the successful movies together, and now you have all those X-Men movies that you can merge them both together, and you get the fans really excited.
I mean, I'm sure on a corporate level, you know, up in Fox, that would help. You know, people on just the size of, because everybody, when you get in these movies, they want to spend more money, not less money, on a movie of this size to make it and everything. But Days of Future Past was something we always tried to do, and something we always tried to work towards. And going back and doing X-Men First Class finally gave us that opportunity, because if you had done it previously, you would have been inventing a past for them to go back to, and you would have had to spend a lot of time and a lot of shoe leather going, this is here, and these people are. But you're going back to be with characters we know.
That's awesome.
You're like picking up where they are. So it organically worked out when it came up and we were thinking about it, and it was like, why aren't we doing this?
It's been long enough.
I specifically
it makes
was
sense.
like,
Ellis is thinking about going into the future.
No,
to
see,
watch
I got an idea. Just get the announcer from the Justice League and just let him kick off the first 5 minutes. when last week that Wolverine, he was drinking in a bar and said, "Fuck off." Let me ask you about the Wolverine trailer that just came out. Did you see it, and what were your thoughts on that, and how it relates to X-Men: Days of Future Past? And the time-space continuums mess with my head a little bit, because I don't know when is Wolverine hanging out in Japan, and when is he? And then when does that take place in relation to your movie?
And what did you think about that show that broke the story about what the trailer was about?
I thought that was ace reporting there. I did love that. Like, I think it was Bleeding Cool or something. Like
comic book
and
news,
it was
yeah.
like a couple of schmoes released.
Oh
the thing. I was like,
yeah.
Product placement or brand management. The Wolverine happens after X3. It's but not necessarily specifically. It's almost a standalone movie, but it's in that way, and it's there so that you don't have to think, okay, this is not a continuation of Origins. It's not like there's a separate Wolverine world and storyline that's going on. What's going to be great about this movie for people is that this is a Logan story. This is Hugh being Logan at his best, doing one of those iconic storylines that we've all, always wanted to do. And
it's violent. Is it super violent?
It's real violent. Like, it's really, but it's also, it's not just violent. It's
but Wolverine violent.
But when he cracks somebody, his body's made of metal.
Yeah.
And when he cracks somebody, it hurts.
Well, the best part about one of the main reasons that I loved X-Men 2 was because of that scene in the kitchen. It was the scene that made me.
When Bobby froze the Dr. Pepper?
Yeah, no. When
he licked the cat.
Yeah, when he licked the cat. That was the one. No, when they came in there, Stryker's guys came in there, and he just killed the dude. Berserker style. And that was the Wolverine I remembered in the comics, and he was there. And I was like, where's that guy been? They did that in that movie. That guy's coming back?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Look you can see it in the trailer. I think they picked some really good stuff in the trailer to show you that he takes punches. And you know Wolverine. If he's getting the crap kicked out of him and he's on that thing and what the hell's happened to me? When he gets up, he's going to beat the shit out of somebody.
Right. Yeah. So now, I don't know if you can confirm that you need to stay silent on it. They're talking about the Silver Samurai.
Oh.
Who's the Silver Samurai?
Okay, fine.
Get another beer for Hoffman. Let's get him hammered and get some
you
secrets.
even said this where it's a standalone, but I mean, everybody's talking about Jean Grey and Frank Jensen being in the trailer.
But it looks like a
And how
flashback.
it's-
It looks like a flashback. That scene, that when you watch that trailer again, you see that scene. It looks like a flashback. And I wanted to ask Eric, what did you think of the Wolverine trailer? It doesn't matter if that Derek's in the room.
I thought it was terrible. No, I'm just kidding. Okay, so here's the deal. X-Men
You're
Origins
that guy.
Wolverine. I didn't love X-Men Origins Wolverine, which, by the way, I'd like to bring up something about that in a moment if I can.
Yeah, please.
So I was definitely wondering, what's this going to be exactly? And I saw I loved the images. The images were pretty cool that were coming out. They looked like comic booky, which is always what I'm looking for. I wanted to look like a comic book come to life sort of deal. And I don't know this story. Jake knows the story, so Jake was pointing out like, oh, this, and this. So he knows the story. But I mean, I saw it in 3D before G.I. Joe, and I thought it looked. I mean, what I said is it looks like a lot of fun. It definitely looks like a lot of fun, and that's at the end of the day, that's what I'm looking for with this type of thing. I just want to see Wolverine being a badass.
Well, I think what'll be great about it for people is that this coming off of First Class, which gave you sort of a new momentum and sort of grounded everything and brought people like back to the fold, and people it was positive and there was a lot of excitement coming out of it. Then you're going to get a movie about Logan and you're sort of recentering that character and bringing back. I think there's a lot of momentum that will be building into Days of Future Past. I think I think those three movies together, and it's not like they're a planned trilogy at all. I'm not saying that. It's just that I think those three movies coming out when they have, and the way that this is all unfolded, are going to really skyrocket into like a
big thing.
Next summer will be awesome.
It's going to rock. And now, just maybe you know the answer to this. I don't know if Christian has it in front of him. Which day are Christian and I visiting the set of X-Men Days of Future Past?
When are you going to get us on the set, Derek?
Yeah.
Come on. Yankee fan, come on.
You're only here for a day? I had you for the week. Was that not?
Whenever they're serving pulled pork at craft services.
I know.
What does that spread look like, by the way? On 7 X-Men movie, how good is that food?
You just don't want to eat next to Hugh.
Really?
Listen.
Protein.
He
This
eats
guy-
everything.
I'm sure he doesn't take off the claws either
Every-
between.
Oh,
Right?
he makes you feel really bad.
No, he doesn't. But I feel bad because
Yeah.
every 2 hours, like someone brings him
Like meat.
poached chicken and broccoli.
Oh, because he's so jacked
Yeah.
up.
He's always.
right,
I mean, he's
right.
always lifting weights.
Right.
While
Like-
talking
He's
to
the
you and
most shredded he's ever been in that
Yeah,
trailer.
in that trailer,
Holy
I'm like,
crap.
holy.
Yeah.
And he's
crap,
always
this is
like
amazing.
that every time he does it. And you think about it and you're like, oh, I like chicken. That's cool. I could do that. 6-8 months a year
Wow.
of every 2 hours.
Yeah, but you're not getting paid the bucks he's getting. I'm probably a little easier.
That's a lot of cock to eat.
There's a.
Perfect.
It's a farm term for chicken. I grew up in the South.
Oh, I thought you meant the other thing.
All right,
Sorry.
transition. All right, so Derek, if you don't know, everybody out here, and Eric, if you don't know as well, every week we do a segment called Tweet a Celebrity. Johnny Ice. Derek, are you familiar with this one?
I'm not.
We live in a world where every random thought counts, and even powerful people have a Twitter account.
Every
It's
segment.
time to tweet a celebrity.
Mark, I didn't know you could sing.
Yeah, he's really good. Thank you. Voice of an angel.
They doubled my voice.
So here's how this works. You write down on the card. You write a Twitter handle of a celebrity, and then we pick it out of a hat. And then we tell Schmoville to tweet that celebrity, and you guys tweet them and tell them to come on the Schmoes podcast.
Okay, yeah, I've seen, yeah.
All right, so we are going to... You got a pen for me, JTI?
Put in the hat. While you're pulling it, I got a bone to pick with Hoffman.
Uh-oh.
I'm TiVoing both of the late games for
and he
March
ruined
Madness,
something
and
for
he
you.
just glanced at a score
all right.
for the Syracuse-Indiana game. And, my God. I'm
watching.
Yeah.
All right, so
I'm a
everyone
naive
write,
guy, so
write your Eric, Derek, did you write yours down? Eric, did you write yours down?
Yeah, put mine in.
All right.
You just think I have celebrities' Twitter handles memorized?
No, but just write the celebrity.
name and we'll find it, right?
Just
Yeah.
a celebrity in
We
general.
will ask Jeeves what the Twitter handle
Yeah.
is. We just need you to.
That's right. And then
Is that a
again,
plug?
well,
That's
what I'd like
amazing.
to do, Kenny, I know we're going to do Game of Thrones, but I'd like to keep Eric in the studio for just 5 more minutes before we'll keep him after the break, and then we won't spoil anything for you because we're going to lose Derek Hoffman. in a second.
Can Eric hang out 5 more minutes,
He
please?
can hang
No,
on.
Eric has
Sorry.
to go to bed.
We got him all waiting for Derek's. I want to take a phone call from Schmoville. Do you have anything about X-Men that you want to ask Derek before he leaves us? Hey, you're in Schmoville. Who do we got?
Oh my God.
Are we live right now?
Yeah. Hey, how's it going, man? What's up?
Oh, hey, this is Mark Aquino from New Jersey.
Hey, man. What's up? So you got something for Derek for X-Men?
Yes.
What's up?
I guess. What was it? I forgot.
The answer is 12.
All right, we got about a second left. So what do you got, Mark?
You got this.
I was wondering, like, when it comes to the whole like Wolverine trailer, do you think that it could like transition like maybe at the end of like the Wolverine, like after like end credits, like you know how like with every Marvel movie like that Marvel makes, they would have like an after credits scene that
A
would
little Easter
transition
eggs
to,
at
like,
the
a
end.
different
Easter
movie.
egg.
Right.
Thank you very much, Mr. Aquino. I appreciate it. So, Derek, maybe something to tie in the
Kind of
franchise?
sounded
or-
like that a minute ago.
So the Marvel movie started that.
You son of a bitch. All right. So
Yeah.
That's interesting.
I think they
I seem to
patented
remember
it.
one of those after X-Men.
I'm pretty sure they patented it.
They did do that.
Whatever.
Well, they do it a little more now. You know, it's,
I think he's thinking Marvel in general, right?
Yeah.
Johnny, you ready to give me a little more of the tweet a celebrity thing when I pick this out? All right, Schmobel, you ready? Here we go. This. We got a lot of them
Guys, I hope
today.
mine gets picked.
A
I hope
lot
mine
of
gets
them.
picked.
You have weird ones.
I have good ones.
Topanga?
You saw her on Maxim. You wish you'd brought her in here now.
This is a good one. I don't think he'll do this but we'll try it. At John Cusack.
Yes.
That's all right. Let's he's on.
He is crazy on Twitter. I love him.
Really?
He's like the most real guy on Twitter because he
Really?
tweets things
Okay.
that probably make his PR guy want
Go
to
nuts?
die.
All right.
But I love it. That's what I want to see.
All
I
right,
want to
guys.
see real
So
people.
there you go. Eric
You
Striffler
mean
has
he's like
put
the
in.
Amanda Bynes of Twitter?
I mean, sometimes.
So
yeah.
at John Cusack is who you guys have to tweet. Tell him, say, hey, time to go on the Schmoes No Podcast, and make sure you hashtag it Schmoes No Podcast. We got to say goodbye to Derek Hoffman. That sucks, Derek. You're gonna come back in August, right?
Only if we play the game.
Oh, we can't. I know.
Oh, what a competitor. I love it.
Yeah, we played last week, and Mark Riley is the defending champion, so we have to. We'll play next time. You're coming back in August, right?
Yeah.
All right. We can actually.
Good
give
luck
us,
with shooting you a little picture. I'm so
Yeah,
excited.
Nice.
Sleep it on my couch when you come back.
That's right. That little independent film that you're doing. Thanks for coming on in. And Derek, always a pleasure, dude. And we'll be back. We're not going to say goodbye to Eric Striffler just yet. We're going to spoil some stuff before
They're going to tell me all about Game of Thrones.
Yeah.
Great.
All right. So we'll be back. We'll be back in a second. Going to say goodbye to Eric when we're back, and then we'll go Game of Thrones style, kids. Schmoes No Podcast. Listen, I know that. Put the cans on. You can hear what's going on right now. Look at how excited Tiffany is. See, this is why Jose Romero loves you so much.
Now wait a minute. We're still in the spoiler-free zone.
We're
Keep
still
this in mind, please.
Still in spoiler-free.
All right.
You know it.
I don't know the song. You just ruined it for me.
Look how excited you are! Wow, I can't wait. See, that's when we talk about Game of Thrones. It's gonna Kenny,
Which is right now. Do you remember when Peter
Not
Dinklage
yet.
turned into a giant in season 2?
Oh,
And he just
no.
it was awesome.
Like
That's
the
that's
greatest
crazy.
Game of Thrones story. It's not a spoiler. There's not going to be any spoilers.
I'm so nervous.
It was
Don't be.
it was 2 years ago because I guess that's when the show started. A friend of mine was at Comic-Con and he's like 7 feet basically, and he looks across the street and he sees Peter Dinklage, and this is like no one had recognized him yet, and he was so excited from watching the show and reading the books that he literally sees him and just goes Game of Thrones across the street, and everyone turns around at Comic-Con and starts staring at him,
man.
and he's like, Peter Dinklage gave me the stink eye. I
dirtiest
felt
look.
like
we met. What's the guy's name? The big,
The huge dude
the
who
huge dude
who
protects
carries around the young Stark son.
Oh, the dog.
No. That's. Yeah, see that. This is what Kenny's here.
Hodor.
Kenny's gonna.
What the
but
heck
listen,
are we talking about?
But, yeah,
Sorry.
but before we're gonna get into Game of Thrones in a second, but I want to talk to Eric because Eric, like again, next time, when are you back in town?
Oh, I don't know. Oh, I'm back around. I'll be in Anaheim for VidCon. I think if I'm coming for VidCon, so I'll be around.
Well, maybe we'll get you back on, and when you come out,
and I'll have
with the crew.
Jake and Mike as well. Yeah,
Okay,
if all
good.
goes well.
Now, guys, make sure that if you don't know, if you haven't been to Eric's channel, go to youtube.com/ is it just PMI? Or is it pretty much it?
Pretty much it. Oh, but we should get the vanity URL for that. PMI. That would be nice.
You
Right, it's
should.
pretty much it right now, though.
Okay, well, and then is there any, and Twitter, you follow him at Eric Striffler. And then if there's anything else, is there any other comments that you wanted to, I know there was something else you wanted to discuss before you left. I don't remember. We were talking about backstage. I forgot what it was.
Was there? I don't remember. I think we were just talking about Next Up.
Just about next. Oh, that's
We
right.
talked about
We
that.
talked
Yeah,
about
yeah.
that already, too.
That's fine.
Anytime you want to come by, dude, it's a pleasure to have you. Thank you so much.
Excellent.
Again, guys, Eric Striffler, pretty much it. Thanks for stopping by, dude. Looking
Well
forward
done,
to having you on
sir.
again. Yeah.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank
Very
you.
fun.
And thanks for tweeting out Shoesy Pants, and we'll let
yeah,
you know.
I got to
if you-
tweet Shoesy Pants, and I got to tweet John Cusack.
Right. Both
Yes.
of them.
Got
Thank
it.
you, Eric. Again, Eric Striffler, pretty much it. Let's make sure that we don't ruin anything for him before he leaves.
Get out before I just say everything about Game of
That's
Thrones.
right.
You know, that may
Everyone
be...
dies.
Thank you.
Just kidding.
Well done, sir. That may be the only time that John Cusack and Shoesy Pants have been mentioned in the same sentence. Like, I got to tweet Shoesy Pants, I got to tweet John Cusack.
That'll never
And
happen.
in walks
John
Shoesy
Cusack.
Pants. Dang it.
Yeah. Johnny, can we play the theme song of Game of Thrones again, Sue, so we can get the mood going for Schmoville and the
Also,
whole
there's
crew?
a really fun video. I don't know what interview it was, but it's of the cast at the premiere of episode 1 of season 3,
Mhm.
and they were asked to sing this song.
Really?
And they
Oh,
all
really?
start, and they're super awkward. They're like,
Here we
and
go.
they are like, da-da-da, da-da-da.
Kenny's going to take the seat, but Kenny, Mark and I were talking about this before. Mark and I, we've been watching. We've watched seasons 1 and 2, and we definitely know enough about it. But Kenny's like a Wikipedia guy for this at this point.
Potentially, yeah.
No potential. You're screaming out names. You know the languages. Come on, don't be humble. And you're in a web series
I'm
called
in School of Thrones.
Yeah, which I just watched.
I am Balon Greyjoy in School of Thrones. Coach Balon Greyjoy.
Have you watched it yet?
I love it. No, I haven't
gotta
got to
see
do
it.
it. I just finished season 2 like 2 hours ago.
All right, so let's talk
A
about
lot of work today,
Getting
man.
ready.
All right, let's talk about Game of Thrones. Let's get into it.
Because season 1 was something that I watched like back to back to back because we were going to do. Our fans kept asking us, "Hey, when are you guys going to review Game of Thrones?" Christian had seen it as it was happening, right? You saw
the first. Yeah, I was excited for it because the reason why is I had heard that this was a fantasy is my genre right off the bat, and then I heard it's a mixture of Lord of the Rings meets Rome, which was one of my favorite HBO shows of all time, and it's exactly that.
I remember being on an airplane and reading an Entertainment Weekly about this show called Game of Thrones that HBO was doing, and I remember thinking at the time, it's like, it's cool, but is HBO going to be able to put the money into this to make it look good, or is it just going to look like shit? It's going to look like Men of Tights,
How do you
except
feel about that
serious.
now?
And they knocked it so far out of the park. Season 1 is really good, right? I really like Season 1. Season 2... It just got leaner and meaner and dragonier and nakeder.
Now, do you think that's because I know this is the problem for a lot of people, and again, I don't want to ask Eric because he's right in the middle of it, but I think, and he hasn't seen the second half of the first season.
He's too young to see boobs like that.
Yeah. Well, but what happens is that I think there's so many characters in the first season that you have to get used to and everything too. It takes your brain a while to get used to it.
It is an investment, man.
Yeah,
it is a really tough investment to make.
I've read the first book and half of the second one, so reading the first book and watching the first season, you click into it a lot faster. And I will say, watching the first episode of season 2, I was like, hold on a second, I gotta rewind. Who is that person? What's this happening here?
I have not had that feeling
happens.
since I walked in the first day of French 3 in 10th grade, and I'm like, shit, we had to remember all that stuff from last year, and I was treading water for about 30 minutes, then just drowned.
You have to take notes while reading the books.
You really do.
I'm sure, yeah.
But that's part of why I'm actually excited about season 3 now, to watch it week to week to week, because you watch it, then you need a week to just. It's like eating. It's like Hugh Jackman. You know that chicken. You need time to digest all that shit.
Honestly, it's one of the first shows where I'm excited to follow it with an app. Like at the same time, it sounds so nerdy, but where it's who is this other person and where are they from and this who's related to? Yeah,
you know,
he already does that.
I have
He
my
already does
Westeros map app.
Oh yeah, you're not the guy we should be asking about the show.
Yeah,
what are you talking about? So Ellis brought up the boobies. And the thing was, still is, there's a question. There's a reason why I'm bringing this up.
Yeah, and I got a little beef with the boobies after you.
Yeah,
your
but
point.
so we went to Comic-Con this year. We went to Comic-Con this year, and listen. The genius who is George R.R. Martin was there. And
so smart, he gets 2 R's.
Look,
as his middle
Riley's laughing because he knows what's about to come.
Oh,
Look,
gosh.
the guy, he's a genius. And if you've seen our video, you might know where this is coming. Now, you know that we're celebrating Game of Thrones here, but the guy's a perv, and you know it from he was everything. He was the guy who was leading the panel, and he was like, "Oh, so did you like that sex scene that I put in there?
Did you enjoy the sex scene I threw your way?"
They'd be like, "So what? Are we going to see Khaleesi's dragons this year? So
you're going to see her titties?"
No, No, he did not
but he's
say
like,
that.
He's like, you're going to see the dragons, but do you think did you like the way Khal Drogo bent you over that rock? And
I think the big problem is that it was tough for him because he had to follow the Walking Dead panel that was hosted by Chris Hardwick, who's just a total pro when it comes to that stuff. My problem with the nudity in Game of Thrones is that it's a great show to watch in the privacy of your own home, from the comfort of your apartment or what have you. I'm on the road a lot, and I was trying to catch up on Game of Thrones flying back from Ohio this year, and you're watching it. There's like kids sitting next to you on the airplane, and then there's a scene of like two girls and like a guy making them make out with each other with dragons in the background, and you're like, it's not. I didn't write this.
That is the famous sex position scene with Baelish.
No, you're getting so embarrassed right now.
I'm not. I just
burped.
But you knew the sex scene I was referencing.
That's the famous line. Turn around, play with her ass. That's the greatest line ever.
It is. But wait, here's the thing with the sex scenes for me in that series.
What did it look like?
Like so many times it doesn't bother me because literally when you talk about Khal Drogo and Khaleesi, that like
passion.
seeing that, but it shows a difference in a change in their relationship.
So,
that I'm like,
it furthers the
I
story.
get it. Yeah.
Okay, so
season one was all about Khal Drogo, really. For
that's
all
why you didn't
viewers.
care, because it was Khal Drogo. Look, she's playing with her hair. She's so excited right
She's a little flustered. And we had a conversation off air one day asking what about Khal Drogo drives so many women to him, because it's beyond just that he's
an animal. He's a raw animal, but he's not.
She had a great answer. Do you remember your answer? No, because you're just giggling because it's Khal Drogo. She
what
said,
did I say?
You said because there's not a lot of real men left.
Yes, I did say that.
And that he is a real man who will also really love you as a woman, and that's what. And every woman I know,
him and he would make you, no matter how strong of a personality you have, he would make you feel like a woman.
That's a real man, not a guy that puts a roof over your head, pays the mortgage, will pay the electricity bill.
He does do all that stuff.
Yeah, I'm sure he
provided her food, a place to live. He made her a queen.
and it should be pointed out, it was also her that kind of led to his death because he.
Right.
fought for her.
Speaking of which, for anybody who's listening out there who has not seen, we didn't say this yet. There's going to be tons of spoilers. If you haven't already realized that,
we'll try to keep it as clean as possible.
No, we're going to we got it, because there's a point that I want to bring up, because right off the bat, again, if you have not watched Game of Thrones, then you should not be listening to this right now.
Take a snooze, pause, go to Amazon.com through our link.
Now, the one thing about this show, I mean, it's ballsy, and the main reason, Sean Bean. Okay?
Oh my God.
When you hear that Sean Bean is in this show, you're like,
Oh,
I am
006.
in. Boromir.
Yeah.
Boromir's in the show.
That's right. He did other things.
Yeah, I am in. Boromir's in. Okay, and then he's the lead character. You're watching him. You're like, okay, this is great. I am with him the whole entire time. And then there's that scene at the end. He's up there. It looks like they're going to execute him. You're like, they're not going to kill Sean Bean.
No, they're not going to kill him.
No way. It's like that scene. You're thinking that maybe it's like Robin Hood, like Kevin Costner and his guys are going to come out on the side and save him,
or Kevin Costner in The Bodyguard.
And then they chop his fucking head off, and you're like, holy.
But that's why it's so good. Like even with the series like The Walking Dead, where people are like, you don't know who's going to get killed off. You don't know what's going to happen. Nothing is expected, which is amazing in a show like that. And
especially
they were
for
being
season
interviewed, they were
one,
saying, joking around, they were like, every time we kill off one person, we bring on 5 more characters. Which is so
they
true.
They really
on
do,
that show.
because I thought I had a handle on it after season 1, because season 1, you're basically, it's called Game of Thrones. There's this Iron Throne. It's a really cool looking chair with a lot of swords and shit coming out of it. And the Stark house from Winterfell is kind of they're kind of thinking, okay, Mark Addy's dead now, somebody has to reclaim that thing, right, for the good. And you're kind of feeling like you're rooting for the Starks here. Okay, you have this dragon chick going on and her boyfriend who's a man's man, and they're hanging out over way on the other side of Earth, so we're not worried about them in that respect just yet. Then you have these Lannister bastards, and they just can't help getting in each other's way. And then season 2 comes around, and there's all these other fuckers, there's all these other kings coming from every corner of the earth.
The War of 5 Kings, they're calling it. The best thing about season 1 and the whole thing, and Riley as a fellow screenwriter can back me up here, the bravery of George R.R. Martin is he makes the story the main character.
Right.
Someone once told me when I started watching, I had not read the books yet. They're like, don't get attached to anyone, and I didn't believe them.
Yeah.
And it's so far 2 seasons in, it's proving that, and that's brave as a storyteller.
Did you like when I made the boobies the main character?
Dude, there was like an SNL sketch they did too about Game of Thrones, which was so good.
Andy Samberg is the 14-year-old director, and I think,
right.
He's like, more boobs. Can you just?
But there was a reason why, though, because there's some. I don't know. I would love to see if Schmobil knows it, because there's a reason why that happens. There's really like a kid or something something that picks out the scenes. There's some, I heard this story.
I didn't. I thought they were just.
I was just thinking it's George R.R. Martin
No, there's something
writing alone for years.
There was something to that. I want to take a phone call from Schmobil about Game of Thrones. Again, we're talking Game of Thrones here, so it's all Game of Thrones. Hey, you're in Schmobil. Who do we got?
Hey, what's up? It's John Matthew from New York.
Hey, buddy, what's up? So we're talking Game of Thrones. What do you got?
I just want to say, I didn't watch the show till last year with season 2, but I'm a big avid fan of it now. And where I live on the city buses, there's nothing but Game of Thrones posters, and it's very tempting.
Yeah, it's blown up.
Yeah.
But I want to say one thing about the big asshole of the show, King Joffrey.
Yeah.
Do you think he's going to die this season?
Now, how many
nobody
people?
likes him.
How many people in here have read the books for the third book?
I've read the first 2.
I've read all of them.
You stop it. No, you stop it. Okay, so
Don't lie.
Tiffany, have you read the third book yet? No. Okay, so now, you know what? I don't know, man, because it's like now from what they've done with the third book, they've split it up into 2 seasons.
Yeah.
So I don't think, I don't think he's gonna die in the first half of season 3, I
think he's definitely surviving the first half.
Yeah,
I think those last couple
or
episodes.
Not first half, but season 3, season 4, he might shit out.
Yeah,
But it's kind of like, again, what we were talking about earlier with having such a strong villain. You hate him so much, which is what makes the story so much stronger.
The kid who plays him he
was in Batman.
He was in Batman,
Dark Knight.
Oh, really?
Not Dark Knight. No, he was in Batman Begins.
Batman Begins.
Yeah, I was like the first one.
He was so good. That kid, King Joffrey, actually out Malfoy's Draco Malfoy as the shithead blonde you most wanted to get off your lawn.
Well, because the thing is, he's just so despicable. As where sometimes you look at Draco Malfoy and you're just like, yeah, sometimes I believe him, sometimes I don't. He's so overacting. This kid just seems like he seems inbred,
and I love this.
And Malfoy is coming from like a place because his dad wants him to be awful.
Right.
Joffrey,
this guy's he's an inbred evil douche.
There's a great development in that story because early on it's Cersei who is kind of training him to be the king, and then in season 2 she kind of created this monster. At the end of 1, he kind of takes over. Like, no, I'm in charge now. She can't control him almost, and that's what's so great.
She slaps him and he gets so.
That's like the
There's so
extreme
many good scenes in this show.
I love when they give him the 2 whores and they're like, "Hey, happy birthday, kid!" And he just makes them torture each other.
Yeah,
that's like the worst example of getting a great gift and playing with the box instead.
So, all right. So, So, how invested now are you in Game of Thrones? Is it one of your favorite shows on TV right now?
Oh, actually, it's one of my best favorite shows next to Breaking Bad and Walking Dead.
Awesome.
But it's so explicit, and like the things that happen on the show are so crazy that you just can't help but get invested into the story.
That's very true. Thank you so much for the call, dude. Really appreciate it.
See,
have a good one.
And
you too.
I agree with that point, but I was actually Miss Movies and I were talking about this before we went to air. Is that it really is a time investment though, and it's not something that you're going to pick up right away. So because everybody told me, oh, you got to watch Game of Thrones, and I tried to watch on HBO a couple times before our fans made me watch it. And you see bits and pieces, and you're like, look, it looks great, it looks realistic, it's a really neat thing they're doing, and I can't get into it. You really got to put the time in, but once you do, I think it's rewarding.
Agreed. Hey, you're in Schmoville. Who do we got?
Jacob.
Hey, Jacob. What's up, man? So we're talking Game of Thrones. What do you got?
Yeah, I really love Game of Thrones. My favorite character would probably be the bodyguard of Khaleesi.
The mutt, right? What's his name?
No,
Is it
the guy who was also on Downton Abbey?
Blonde dude, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm thinking of.
Yes, and I did just say he was on Downton Abbey. He was.
Oh yeah, he's great.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, do you know he's got a thing for Khaleesi though too? So do you?
Oh, this is my favorite character.
It's your favorite
Sir
character as
Jorah
well.
Mormont of Bear Island.
Well, Leanne did a picture of you.
Yes,
today.
absolutely. By request.
Your request, of course.
That's for me, but the character. He is a disgraced knight who was kicked out of the realm by Ned Stark for some reasons you find out. He's got this past love scar, and he's just this man of honor still.
Is he from Winterfell?
He is from Bear Island.
Okay.
And his father, of course, is the one in charge of the wall. So there's kind of this
really?
connection.
So the dude from Braveheart is his dad?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't know
I
that.
love Sir Jorah Mormont. There's just this
great
quiet
offensive
about
coordinator. I wish I had a guy like that whispering in my ear, like, "Don't get the Lucky Charms."
Yeah,
Get the
and
cash.
he does. And he does. He loves the Mother of Dragons, but he realizes that's not his place. That's not his. It's his mission to kind of get her to the throne, maybe, or whatever.
He thinks she's hot.
Oh, no, absolutely. It's addressed.
He's a great character. Thank you so much for bringing that up. I appreciate it. Let's take one more call from Schmoville. See what we can get into here. Hey, you're in Schmoville talking Game of Thrones. Who do we got? Great.
It's a White Walker.
All right, that was Sean
Seriously.
Bean calling from season
It's
2.
a White Walker.
Hey, you're in Schmoville. Who do we got?
Oh my God! I can't believe I'm on the air. Hey.
What's up, man?
This is Sean Bean.
That's Sean Bean. Hey, we're talking Game of
Hey,
Thrones.
from all the way from Maryland.
Hey, man. So,
Good state, Maryland, you got there. Well done, sir.
what's your name?
Dylan.
Dylan. So, Dylan, we're talking Game of Thrones here. What do you got for us?
Yeah, totally. I'm just asking on your opinion on the whole threat of Celestia, of the girl with the dragons.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
you know, they say that she has all the fire and stuff, and that she's going to rule the world. I mean, come in and take everything over
Yeah.
with the fire. I'm just saying, like, isn't this like a big loophole because there was like obviously dragons before, and humans obviously took them over. So
well, because that's a great question. Thank you so much for the call. Here's the reason why I think.
The non-expert's going to answer. Here we go.
I could be wrong. I'm total speculation, but they haven't seen dragons for a long time. So these
thousands of years.
Thousands of years. So they don't know how to fight.
They're like dinosaurs. They used to roam the earth. We acknowledge their existence unless you live in Kansas. And then now you have new dragons, but nobody knows how to combat them yet.
Right, and the difference is if dinosaurs are running around now, we have all these weapons that can take them out. They have the same amount of weapons that they had, so it's going to be hard for them. They don't know how to fight dragons.
Well,
and
most people don't know that she has them yet.
No,
Like-
it's just whispers.
Unless you live in
Varys'
Quarth.
Yeah.
I want to see. I mean,
The best city that ever was, or ever will be.
Welcome to Quad. We have a Starbucks.
It's the Bret Hart of cities.
I was worried about the dragons at first because I didn't know how how a TV show
CGI,
how the CGI, and they look great. They look great.
It-
Last
yeah.
season,
Like
at least
the
last
end
season.
of season 1.
Oh, yeah.
I remember screaming at the television. Like,
Yeah.
it was
See, that's
so
when you
good.
need-
That's
Yeah.
why Tiffany moved from that apartment. But even the producers kind of didn't know, and you can tell they kind of cheat in season 2. They don't always show them; they're sometimes in the little basket, but they got to save their money for the big shots. And for season 2, they had to save all their money for the Battle of Blackwater.
Yeah. Oh wow.
They
We'll talk
knew-
about that in a second for
Yeah.
sure. I want to ask Schmoville here. Tweet us in and at Facebook as well. Who is your favorite character in Game of Thrones, and what was your favorite thing in season 1 and in season 2? Let's take a call from Schmoville and ask them that specific question. All right. Hey, you're in Schmoville. Who do we got?
hey guys, it's George.
Georgie.
Georgie.
Georgie, you watch Game of Thrones, obviously. Otherwise, you would
Oh
be
yeah, I
listening to
love
this.
Game of Thrones.
All right, so let me ask you, man. So you have, what's your favorite thing of season 1, and then let me know your favorite thing of season 2. Try to sum it up as fast as you can, pal.
Favorite thing of season 1, Lord Baelish. The guy's such a great manipulator.
Yeah.
He's my favorite character on the show.
Yep.
Favorite thing of season 2, Tyrion's speech at the Battle of Blackwater. That was epic.
100%, I agree with you. Now Georgie, why do you think that a show like this that has fantasy that in the past has not always worked and has always kind of been pushed to Sci-Fi Channel and stuff like that? Why is it resonated so much with audiences besides the natural audience for that genre?
Your answer can be boobs, George.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think that for some people, yeah. But one of the big things is it's on HBO. It's on a network that can pull off a literally epic scale show. And it's also that you have Lord of the Rings, which kind of drew people back into fantasy in an awesome way. And then for this to come out and for the story to be such a prominent character, the story's a character in the show, and then for the characters to suit the story and be characters themselves, if that makes sense, I think that's why it works. It's just a great show.
I agree. Georgie, thank you for the call. And
a great
Tiffany,
story.
I know you're itching. What's your answer?
I think for the series itself, because it starts out so real, there's not a lot of magic. There's not a
Right.
lot of big fantasy stuff that happens in season 1, which I
Yeah.
feel like people who aren't
Still
into
related to
sci-fi
it. Yeah.
will write it off to begin with. But because the story is so in depth, you really get sucked into the characters.
By the time
And
they get
then
to the fantasy,
by the
they're
time
okay
stuff
with it.
starts happening,
Yeah.
you're like, yes, I'm invested.
Okay.
I mean, the same thing with Lord of the Rings, where it's a fantasy world, but you get invested in the people, and then all the crazy stuff starts happening.
So, Ellis, I was asking Schmoville here as far as who their favorite characters are, and let's read some of their tweets. At Tina MUFC says her favorite Game of Thrones character is Lord Tyrion Lannister.
Tyrion Lannister.
Excuse me, Tyrion Lannister. Now, sorry, I knew. See, that's what I need you guys to do. Listen, I am still. I know
Christian
the show.
and I are on like level 1 of Rosetta Stone of Game of Thrones.
Yeah, no, please correct me.
I don't know half of them.
When
There's
needed.
just some that I do know.
But he is, and that's Dinklage. Now you talk about a character that progressed. Holy shit, man! Like in the first episode, he's just drinking and banging chicks, and then you get to season 2, and he becomes a leader. I mean, he is the main focus point of that entire battle. You take him out of that, it's over.
Yeah.
But even before the Battle of Blackwater, which he was such an integral part in, and he used his intelligence instead of all this muscle that everybody else has been, saving up for this huge battle, and he just outwits everybody. Even before you get to that, he still is the comic relief that you thought he would be in those first couple episodes. But he's also such a central figure, and so every time the guy comes on screen, you light up because it's gonna be funny, and it's gonna further the plot, and you're gonna get everything that you want.
He's just a guy trying to get his dad's approval.
Yeah.
And he's trying to work his way through life. And the growth he goes through, especially on the road out to the Vale and all that stuff that happens up there. And one of my favorite scenes is Braun, the sellsword, stepping forward to fight for him. And what a great moment. And their relationship as paid friends that grows into friendship.
That's a great relationship, and it's and it's a legitimate relationship.
In season 2, from the book to the show, they changed a lot of stuff for Braun for the better.
For the better. I mean, that's why
Jeremy Flynn is such a good actor and plays it so well.
God, I mean, there's so much to talk about with this show. I mean, literally could be here for 4 hours.
Well, I liked your question. We can have Tiffany's thoughts on your favorite characters.
I have a different, a favorite for season 1, a favorite for season 2.
Shoot.
And they're the crazy thing about this series that I think people don't notice is that it's so much more about the women than the guys. Like all
I've
of
noticed.
the women, they push the story along. So first season, it has to be Daenerys Targaryen.
Targaryen.
Yeah.
She is the strongest character to me. I love her.
That's the blonde dragon lady.
The mother of dragons.
Dragon
The mother of
lady.
dragons.
Elma Fudd.
And the best scene for me in that season has to be the final scenes.
Her losing her virginity? Oh, wait, no.
Shut up. Yes, no. When she goes into the fire and the dragons come
Oh,
out
it's
there.
pretty
It's
great.
just
So
so
what about
good.
season 2?
Season 2, it's Arya.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's the
she
young
is-
Stark daughter.
Yeah,
That's
she's
like when
she's
you
great.
see the stuff where she
That guy with the man.
Jagan Hagar, the faceless man from Bravo.
Yeah,
That
where
is such
she
a
gets to,
cool
like-
storyline.
Which I love. If I just rewatched season 1, they mention
Him in the first one, right?
When Viserys, the king that Daenerys' brother is with the whore, and she talks about I've seen faceless men.
Yeah.
Throwaway comment when you're watching the first time if you're not familiar with the property.
Yep.
Season 2.
And I want to rewatch
Yeah.
it. That's what's great about this show, by the way. It's not one of those shows you watch it once, and so you can revisit it 100 times and be like, "Oh, that's something new. Oh, that's cool." And you revisit, you feel like you're just watching history.
To follow up on her Arya comment in season 2, what drives season 2 for me is her story, but also they changed that story by putting her in Harrenhal with Tywin Lannister. That's not in the book, and in the book, it's
She's
kind of
such a
boring
little badass.
and drawn out.
Yeah.
And the relationship between her and Charles Dance, who's a fantastic actor and a perfect part, their
the
relationship.
one that you like?
That's Tywin Lannister, the father.
Oh,
the older
yeah,
guy,
yeah,
Charles
he's
Dance.
great.
Their relationship and the moments, and I think Tywin knows.
He
I
does.
think he knows, and he's just
That who she
that
is,
it's
or
she's
just-
a Stark.
okay.
I personally think so. We'll find out.
Right. You think
I
so?
love that relationship.
And that kid's got chops. That kid that
She's
plays
great.
Arya, she is really, really good. She
yeah.
just got such a unique look.
I'm worried that this kid is his new Hermione.
I send you one text.
Well,
that this
Oh,
chick is
God.
going to be.
You have about 7 years to wait,
She
my
is
friend.
like
I texted Christian. I'm like, this chick's going to be hot in 6 years, and I don't feel bad
you
about
waited
that.
8 for Emma Watson, so.
Yeah. Anyway,
But
all
yet,
right,
Kristen DeLuca called me the pedophile. All right.
That's right. All right, let's take another
those are my two favorite
call from
characters.
Schmoville. Hey, you're in Schmoville. Who do we got?
Hey, it's Lucas.
Who's this?
Lucas.
Hey, Lucas. What's going on, man? So, Game of Thrones. What do you got?
Yeah, I think the best character on that show for me is definitely Jon Snow.
All right.
Yeah, that was he's my favorite character for sure.
Yeah.
Now, why, Lucas? Why do you think he's your favorite character?
You know, I think it's kind of, I've got a thing for underdog characters, and, you know, him being the bastard son of
Right.
Ned Stark and everything, he has so much more that he, like, has to work against as a character and everything, and still gets to turn into, like, this noble hero and, like, go undercover with
Right.
the wildlings and all this stuff, you know?
Well, it's going to be interesting to see what happens in 3. Thank you for the call, Lucas. Appreciate it. Yeah, you know what? For me, why I like Jon Snow is because he seems so far. I mean, now that Ned Stark is toast, he seems like the good guy.
The most qualified to lead the people that you as a viewer should be rooting for.
Right, but he just seems like
The
a
most,
good guy.
I feel like he's the most willing to put everyone else before him.
Yeah, and he's the one. He's the one guy. Like everyone else, they have like kind of despicable tendencies about them. He's the one
pure.
guy. He's pure, and like
He's been wrong too.
You know what? And it's
Catelyn Stark is such a bitch, damn.
Which one? Who is?
Oh my gosh.
Catelyn Stark.
The mother?
Oh
yeah, yeah.
What an arc for her in season
so
2
hard.
because she kind of seemed like the moral center of the universe for a while. Then she just kind of went downhill to the point when I was against her when she's telling the other guy that I think I might start to get behind is the guy that's banging the nurse now. The guy who could be king.
What,
yeah.
I have for our Wikipedia here from Tywin Lannister is the father. Is what
Yeah,
they're
that's
saying.
right, played by Charles
okay,
Dance.
so
Tyrion is Dinklage.
Tyrion. Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah,
All
we're
right,
good at
so
this.
all right, we're
Getting
going to be going to break. When we come back, we'll preview season 3, kind of give our thoughts on what we think is going to happen. Take some more calls from Schmoville. Talk to Ripped Apparel. We'll be back in a second. Tiffany Smith, Ken Napzok, Mark Ellis, myself,
and Dragons.
Dragons.
Trying to remember what part. I don't remember what part it's from. I went and I was looking at all the music is another thing too.
I feel like this has got to be like White Walkers.
I don't know if it was. Well, Johnny, what's the title of this? No, that's the composer. That's the composer, but it's called The Throne. Okay. I mean, that's the beauty of it is too. Like once you get into the show, it's just like you know that they're all competing for this title. And it's like, there's so many people going for it, and it's like
it's a cool chair.
It's great because you're like you're really rooting for like who you. It puts you at like who's gonna win, who's gonna win the title,
and who do you want to win? Because they all have dark sides.
Both of those things. It's almost like March Madness. You have your bracket as to who you think is going to win, and then you also have your team that you're rooting for.
Well, before Mark Riley gets out of here, Riley, come stick your face in here because I know you're a big Thrones fan. Who do you want to see that once the series finale of Game of Thrones happens? Who do you want to see win the throne?
Oh man, yeah, I want Peter Dinklage, man,
to win the throne.
Oh hell yeah!
All right.
A lot of
that's our new fantasy pool.
A lot of fans want to see Jon and Daenerys together, and in School of Thrones, we actually play with that. We have them meet, and there's a great, and all the fans of that show are like, they did the thing, they met, and it's
oh right, yeah. So that
because one of the thought is it's moving towards a WrestleMania main event. The White Walkers can only be destroyed by fire. Who has fire?
Right. Well, I mean so let's talk about season 3 then, and that's what the phone calls and the tweets should be about right now, Schmobile. What do you think's going to happen in season 3? What are the things that you're looking forward to the most in season 3? Tweet us at @SchmoesKnow, at Tiffany's Tweets, at Cospan. Follow Cospan so you can go out with Kristen DeLuca, and then Facebook.com/SchmoesKnow. Tell us what are you looking forward to in season 3, and let's take a call from Schmobile real quick to see what the hell they're thinking about. All right. Hey, Schmoville. Who do we got?
Hey, guys. It's Matt Brown.
Matt Brown. What's up, Matt? So, Matt, what are you looking forward to in season 3?
Well, there are a couple thoughts on season 3. I'd first like to make a quick comment. Tiffany made a great point about the women, because I was thinking about my favorites, and, you go to Tyrion, but after that, it's like you got Arya, and then you've got Cersei, and then you've got Daenerys, and you've got all these females that seem to be like that great thing, like behind every great man is a great woman.
Yeah, is like one that drives your country to war. Catelyn Stark should be blamed for everything, by the way.
Why?
Because she started this all.
How so? Let it out.
She started it all.
Let it out.
She's the one who fell for this Tyrion thing and goes and captures him, which causes Jamie to go kill all of Ned's men and capture Ned. It's her fault.
Yeah, why can't they just sew our flags and not vote?
Sorry, Matt. I didn't mean to cut you off. I just have Catelyn issues.
Okay, well, besides that, I guess the women are all great.
Thanks. Sorry, Kenny shit on your parade, man.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And it's not even that all the women are great. It's that they have such a power in the story.
Oh, absolutely.
Pushing
You're
it
100%
towards
right
good
about that.
or bad.
And they're convoluted, complicated characters. I mean, Lena
Women are
Headey.
complicated.
They are. I have learned over the years. Lena Headey does such a great job. See that scene with Mark Eddy with Robert Baratheon in season 1 where they're talking about their marriage, and she asked if we ever have a chance, and he says no, and you can see that broke her heart at 19. You kind of see where she's coming from at times.
It's weird though with her though too because she's so sexy. and then you're watching her, but then you're just like, she's banging her brother, and it's like, but it's so
gross
weird because
and weird. But when you in
You're
those,
gonna- you're gonna
olden
justify
times,
this?
No, because
Justify it?
I'm saying in olden times that happened all the time, where it's like
Sure.
they
It
wanted
did.
to
In
keep
olden
their minds
times,
pure.
that happens in other parts
I'm
of the
saying-
country.
right
I'm
now
saying,
somewhere.
though,
Yeah.
because they wanted
Hey,
to
we
keep
have to
their
take a
minds
break to
pure.
talk about Game of Thrones.
Happening 10 miles from where I grew up. I think that Lena Headey's very hot. I don't know what she's doing with my eyebrows, but
It's
give it back,
sexy,
sweetheart.
though. It's sexy.
I think
Yeah.
that's what I'm most excited about in season 3 is seeing this Lannister thing, this odd Thanksgiving dinner table that just it's not good now.
Well, and
this
everyone
boat,
finding out.
it's only going to get more rocking because like I love the scenes when they're at the King's Court or something and Joffrey's saying something, then you have Xerxes is there, then you have Tyrion, and they're all kind of looking around at each other like they all know nobody's on stable ground right now.
And I'm sorry, but Jaime Lannister, the Kingslayer, is one of the most compelling characters too, because you see where he's coming from. When they take shots at him and killing the king, and he says, what did the king say when you killed him? Burn them all. Same thing been saying for hours.
Yeah.
You get that, like the Kingslayer is like he did something good.
Yeah. Well, it's-
And when he calls out Ned Stark and basically says, I never cheated on my wife.
Right.
I've been with
I
one
know,
woman my whole
and
life.
It's the truth.
Just happens to be my sister.
Yeah, right. And the thing with him is too going again, like reading about what I forget what the actor's name is, but what he's been going through this whole season is that he's getting sick of being captured because he's been driving around and someone really kicked him while he was down, and it's rough out there filming, and I think that's what adds to the grit of it.
The actor's name is Nikolaj Rosson.
Yeah, that's why.
You know what I think is so crazy too when you see them interviewed in their like regular street clothes.
Yeah.
How different everyone looks and how weird it
I'm
is.
sure.
And they all have different accents than what they have in the TV
Yeah.
show. And I'm like,
Yeah.
no,
Yeah,
no,
well,
just
that's-
stay there.
Peter Dinklage is just this New York dude, you know?
Yeah.
He's 6
so
feet.
good, dude. He's so good, and I think that again, like I love the dynamic between him and his brother and sister. It's like
it's great.
all of that, and it's just a matter of how it all is going to come to play out. And one of the main questions that again, a lot of people are saying, I'm sure a lot of the people in Schmoville as well, the White Walkers. Now it's
Effing White Walkers.
You start out the season, the series,
The first
with
3
them.
minutes.
Now you start the series with them, and then you end the season 2 with them. Now, does anyone have a problem with the fact that it's essentially The Walking Dead?
It was not as scary for me.
Yeah.
Because of The Walking Dead?
Well, I don't watch The Walking Dead, and I'm easily scared of anything horror.
Yeah. Don't turn to your left. Shoozy Pants is right there.
The old lady in Pee-wee's Big Adventure where her eyes pop out still scares me.
Large Marge.
Large Marge.
Yeah. Worst accident I ever seen.
It was at a night just like tonight. It still scares me. But
Rakishi scared me.
the first 3 minutes of the show, I had no idea what to expect. Again, I'm coming late to the book party.
Yeah.
But when those first 3 minutes and you see the White Walkers and the little girl goes zombie-fied, scared the crap out of me all through the season. You don't see them again. In season 2, there's little glimpses of them over at Craster's Keep, and then they
almost
build
forget.
it. You forget. And so when at the end of season 2, it's actually from book 3 that they tag the little thing and the horn blows, and there's one horn, and there's 2. And then the third horn, I jumped out of my bed.
Really?
Like, White Walkers are coming!
I'll tell you, those are creepy moments, and we won't go past the White Walkers. We'll go back to them. But you know what? The creepiest moments for me was that dude who has all of the wives. And
Walter Frey.
Oh,
they're all his daughters.
Or
the slaughtering.
Yeah,
The
they're
guy
all
who keeps marrying his daughters and they kill all the boys.
And he keeps throwing like that.
Craster's
That was the one
Yeah.
to me. I was just like, that's just some creepy shit
And
right
the-
there.
and
And that's
the-
why Jon Snow. That's why again. Everyone else is kind of accepting it, going, "Oh, let's just kind of stick
so
our heads in the sand."
honorable.
Yeah, and
It's
he's just-
honorable.
yeah,
But Jon Snow's learning a lesson because Lord Mormont, who's a very honorable man, basically goes, yeah, I knew. He has to do what he has to do. And I think Jon Snow,
Politics,
especially
man,
now
politics.
that he's with the wildlings, he's going to have to learn that honor is going to end you up like your father, dead.
That was it was like a hillbilly Mormon kind of hodgepodge.
That's why.
Don't you look at my wives.
That's why it creeped me out. Hey, you're in Schmoville. Who do we got? You turn your computer down.
I
too,
can hear the
please.
golden voice of Mark Ellis in
I
the
know.
background.
Sorry, it's on a delay. The thing about the White Walkers, though, like how you're saying it's The Walking Dead, isn't it that that they're actually like necromancers, to where there's leaders of them, like the ones with the deep blue eyes, that they're actually controlling all the other ones, which are just reanimated corpses.
Right, and that's why they have to burn them.
Ah, well, and what was your name?
Sorry, it's Jeff from Ohio.
Jeff, thank you,
Thanks
dude.
for calling from
it's a
Ohio, man.
good point. Again, Jeff, thank you.
Yeah.
Jeff,
I don't
you
know.
have countered Christian Harloff. Now he will kill you.
That's why
Absolutely.
when Jon Snow kills Corn Halfhand and Egret's like burn him, you don't want that one coming back for you because
see,
he's going to come back as him.
The show
you know?
continuously surprises me, and I hardly ever go. I did what you did though, Mark. Also, season 2 I watched in like 2 days.
Yeah.
I wish I got to watch it again. I was traveling a lot, so the airplane thing kind of effed me up. But I watched like the last 5 episodes today, and now I'm raring to go.
Yeah.
But I'm really excited to see episode 1 of season 3 on Sunday night.
Yeah, and then wait a week.
Yeah.
I'm waiting to
When
exhale
they're talking
like
about
Whitney.
this season is supposed to be all about the rise and fall of all the characters. So they're saying people who come in with power are going to go out of the season without it, and people that look like they don't have any power are going to end up with it
chess game,
throughout
man.
the
I
series.
love
And the producer said that season 3 was
Benioff?
the reason they wanted to do the show. They wanted just to get to season 3.
That's all well and good.
Okay.
That's all well and good. What makes me nervous is that when I was at Comic-Con, before I started watching any of this thing, you heard rumblings. You talked to the fans. The people like talking to me on the street, and they all said the same thing. They said that the book series starts out awesome, and it's really good. And then as you get further into the books, it's almost like George R. R. Martin kind of ran out of steam a little bit towards the end. And so are the producers and everybody else who's involved with the HBO production going to be able to kind of right that ship?
I think so, because I think what it is, going back to what Kenny said earlier, was that there were changes that they made in 2 and 1
already,
that was for the better. So I think that they're not just telling George to say, okay, you write the scripts and then turn it in. They've got their screenwriters and everyone else. They're attached to these actors and the characters, because the actors spawn ideas as well.
Yeah.
And to Martin's credit, he's cool with that.
Yeah.
He's like, look, put some titties in every episode, and you guys can do whatever you want to my source.
Some boobies in this one? Sorry, no, go ahead. No, go ahead.
I want you to touch
It's
the
a
other.
lot. It's similar with what they're doing with The Walking Dead, where Kirkman's involved, but he's willing to change stuff because he knows, he wrote the comic books and he wants to have people on board who are helping to make it a better show.
The talk about from the book fans. Yeah.
George, can you get out of the closet? We have some script changes. Oh, no, they're fine. They're fine. Whatever you want to do.
Fine. Wow.
The talk among
I can't even.
the talk amongst the book fans first is that book 2 is one of the worst in the series in terms of just it's slow, it's a little drawn out, and there's so many changes from the book.
Stop it!
I was just
I'm trying to keep the
make him
conversation
spit beer
going.
out of his nose. I
You're
saw
doing
him
great.
raise it, and I took a shot, and I apologize.
Wow.
Kenny, you had a point.
Anything you want to do with those dragons
Stop
right now?
it!
Wow.
Hashtag fart sticks. Here we go. All right, it's been that kind of night. The producers did such a great job with season 2 from the book. The stuff at Craster's Keep is not as suspenseful in the book. The battle on Blackwater Bay happens in the daytime, and it's long drawn
So they're
out.
gonna change
and
shit.
George R. R. Martin wrote that episode, so that to me is him signing off.
I think
on going,
he gave his property, and he's confident with the people who's got it, and they call him into the room. He's like, yeah, we can change that. As long as you make her top.
Stop it! HBO is so behind him because they're talking about doing the prequel, a spin-off series
Oh,
that's
really?
like either 100 or hundreds of years
Good.
before.
Maybe
'Cause
Disney
he
will do
wrote-
that with Knights of the Old
Stop it,
Republic. I'm
'cause
serious.
he wrote-
Stop it. I'm serious.
He has written novellas that are
Okay.
like these shorter stories that they're already talking about.
That's a guy who
It's
knows.
weird.
He's as creepy as his ass is. He is the modern day Tolkien. He really is.
Absolutely.
All right. Hey, you are in
A lot
Schmoville. Who
more
do we
anal
got?
play.
Hey, this is Chris from Minnesota.
What's up, dude? So we're talking Game of Thrones. What do you got, bud?
I was just wondering, how likely do you guys think it is that they make it through all 7 books with the TV show?
It's a great question. I mean,
First of all, I'd like to thank Chris for being up there in Minnesota and guarding the wall.
yeah, I know. It's your call.
I'm
Thank you.
sorry that you can never get married.
Look, I think it's very likely because right now the ratings are fantastic.
Yeah.
The books,
The
if
buzz
he
is
knows
the-
exactly where he's going with it, as long as it's not, and then they all start to fly, and then they all, it's like, then it starts to.
Then cars came into the land.
Can we do a flying 69? Georgie, stop it.
Game of Thrones brought to you by Crystal Pepsi and BMW.
Oh, whatever.
Yeah, I think I heard the producers are hoping for 8 seasons. I think that's what they're looking.
Yeah, and Dinklage is signed through like 6. So
Yeah.
I think the big question here, and I think everybody, maybe this should be the next
Stop
poll,
it!
is what Game of Thrones tattoo will Tiffany Smith get on her left forearm to match the Lord of the Rings?
Tell me what
I
it
think
is.
she should, yeah. I'm going to guess it is something in Khal Drogo speak, some Dothraki.
show you my
And it'll probably, yeah.
Don't look at me anymore, dude. This shit's been
Yeah.
played out, man. I feel now you're the kid that's like in detention.
Can't help it. We did this at Comic-Con for like an hour and a half, and we're dying. And you see Tiffany, she can't hold it together. Okay,
no, Tiffany, because I feel bad for you now, here's what I'm going to do. Next time Christian does that noise, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take him down to the dungeon. Spank him. I'm going to show him he's been a bad boy. We lost the Smith. No, come back.
All right, come back. Let's take a call from Schmoeville and get us back where we started. Hey, you're in Schmoeville. Oh, yeah. You're in Schmoeville. What are you wearing? What do you got wearing right now?
Stop it.
Hey, hello, you're in Schmoeville.
Hello?
Hey, poor bastard. What's going on, man?
Hello, this is Patrick Hogue.
Hey, Patrick, what's going on, buddy?
I'll be completely honest. I have not listened to the podcast tonight because I haven't seen Game of Thrones yet, so I didn't want to.
Everybody dies.
I just. Oh, sorry,
Already did
They
that
all
one.
die, yeah. What do you got for us then, Pat?
I heard Eric Striffler was there tonight.
Pat, I love you to death, but we're on momentum here, buddy. I got to let you go.
He's locked in a trunk
Yeah,
somewhere because he didn't want to hear about the Game of Thrones spoilers, which you
Hey,
probably don't want to.
Hey,
either.
you're in Schmoeville talking Game of Thrones. Who do we got?
Hey, this is Seth.
Seth, what's up, buddy? So we got Game of Thrones talk. What do you got for us?
Hey, I just wanted to say that I'm a fan of Snow's No, thanks, but also Game of Thrones. I heard in an interview that George Martin had said to the producers that he gave them the ending just in case he passes away.
Wow, that's pretty cool. Really?
So that is like holding those dragon eggs. Keep that thing
It's a
secret.
good ending, too, because Marty and Doc are sitting there on the train tracks, and the train comes back.
So you're saying like right now there's 7 books, but they're going to continue on. So
I think he is writing an 8th, yeah.
So there's an 8th. Is
I believe
8th
so.
the last book?
I don't know.
Well, how old is the guy?
No, I believe there's 7. He's planning on 7 books.
Oh,
is it 7? Yeah, I think you're right. Maybe
Okay.
the 6 is out, right?
Oh, wow.
I don't know.
Okay.
He'll think of weird places to have
I won't
sex.
lie, they're really long. And the first one, I started reading and I had to do a book on tape.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
See, I wouldn't
thanks,
even.
dude. That
Well,
was
what was
great
funny
tip.
is
Thank
the
you
book
so
on
much,
tape
dude.
is actually
Thank you.
George R. Martin reading it, going.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
Stop it. It was not like that.
Yeah. Did you get as far as the scene where Khal Drogo the first night with Daenerys?
Uh-huh.
It's so different than the TV show.
What
It happens
happens?
in front of everybody.
Really?
Yeah, the Khalasar like gets around him and he's like, "All right, this is going to happen." And then it's a TV
Well,
show.
he's an
It's-
animal.
Yeah.
I'm wondering why they didn't do what. He's an animal. It's the truth. Tiffany gets so
He loves
embarrassed.
her.
You know, you stop. You don't care about it. Like behind closed doors. I'm sure is a whole different thing, but it's the truth. That's how women like when you see that guy. There's something women do when it comes to Khal Drogo. They go bananas, but he's dead, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah. Meanwhile, I am the guy that's going to take you to the movies on the first date.
That's right. Let's keep going with Schmoeville because they got a lot of good points. Hey, you're in Schmoeville. Who do we got?
Hey guys, it is George R. Martin here.
Is that Finstock?
No, it's not. I don't think it is. Hey, Georgie, what's going on, buddy?
Stop it.
What do you got, man?
No, it's actually got Matt Brown here again.
Oh, what's up, man? What's so what do you got?
I'm saying because we're talking about what we're expecting. Earlier, you were talking about who you would like to see take the throne, but who do you think really has the best shot of ending up with the throne at the end, as opposed to who you would prefer?
Right
At the very
Thank
end?
you so much. Yeah, like if once George R. R. Martin dies and gives
Sure.
his ending away,
Sure.
who is he saying? This is who I want on the throne once it's all over.
Oh,
and
I
done
think Daenerys, but I think currently I'm Team Stannis. I actually love Stannis Baratheon. The throne is his
with.
by right.
Okay.
Like Stannis almost won
He's
a
too-
battle
he's too
where
deranged.
Yeah, but
I love
Stannis
he takes
he almost won a battle where he didn't even know the shit that his lady chick was conjuring. He wasn't even aware that there was
honestly
magic involved.
That was the most shocking scene
Yeah.
of the series to me because
Was
I
the
was
birth?
like, I remember her walking
Yeah.
by the screen. And you're like, wait, how? Like, did a lot of time pass? How is she so pregnant? What
Yeah.
the heck?
Yeah, I know.
And then the smoke vagina monster thing.
Yeah.
that-
Which is what every
Apparition
guy
of
is
Stannis.
afraid of.
I
Read your
just-
pamphlets.
I love Stannis Baratheon. Melisandre is the type of woman that I've dated all my life,
so
not
that's why.
successfully.
So you relate to
yeah,
He's got a good shot because he didn't know what that magic was, and now I think if that's like a team finding out they can shoot threes
Right.
instead of twos.
And that's
he's got a whole nother weapon.
There's
now.
a great relationship with him and Sir Davos, who's the Onion Knight, who's his old confidant and friend, and that guy's trying to support Stannis and be like, hey, your girlfriend's kind of crazy, dude.
Yeah.
I don't. All right,
But
fine.
he doesn't. He doesn't like Onion Guy. Doesn't like the girlfriend at all.
No, because
that's going to cause
saw
a rift.
He saw the vagina demon be born.
Yeah.
But isn't he? Isn't
Which
he?
also
Didn't he
they don't
die?
ever-
No,
I thought he died on
well,
the boat.
no, he'll be around.
They also didn't like. It's interesting because they didn't show what happened to that smoke thing.
Yeah.
So is it still
In-
around?
in-
Did it do its deed and disappear?
In the book,
like
it kills twice, so
All right,
it'll be
let's-
around.
Let's see. All right, so hey, you're in Schmobile. Who do we got?
This is Ian from Michigan.
What's up, Ian? So what's up, dude? What do you got on Game of Thrones?
One thing, what are your thoughts on the Dire Wolves? And second question, for this being this Sunday, what do you prefer, the finale of Walking Dead or the premiere of Game of Thrones?
It's a great question.
The answer is the premiere of Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
I'm so
really.
won over by the show now. Yeah.
I mean, again, like, so. All right, here's a better question because we have DVRs now. So,
And I'm gonna adopt a dire wolf this Sunday. They have those annual things at
thank you
Petco.
for- thank you for the
see
call,
that-
dude.
Someone tweeted. I think Blaster Sci-Fi's Twitter handle tweeted something about this company who's breeding dogs that look similar to direwolves. It's called like the Direwolf Project.
Yeah.
They're not real direwolves, but apparently, like back hundreds of millions of years ago, whatever, there were real direwolves.
I think Michael Vick's got 2 of them on the way.
I wanted a Tamaskin, which looks like the most like a wolf of a dog you can get, but now I want one.
Those things freak you out. When you're on the street and you just see like, holy shit, that's a wolf. I guess it's a dog, but
Yeah.
it looks like a wolf.
I can have something close to a direwolf, but I can't have a dragon.
But I want to go
so-
back to what the question though too, because again, Mark and I have been doing an episode by episode breakdown of Walking Dead, and we're super invested in the show, obviously too. Now, Mark, if you didn't have a DVR and you only had one chance, you can't. You've watched this whole season of Walking Dead. You either can watch the last episode of Walking Dead from this season, or the first episode of season 3 for Game of Thrones.
Family Guy. No, I'm going. I'm going to go Game of Thrones.
You would take
yeah,
away.
because look, the show, the quality of Walking Dead is fine, and I appreciate so much what AMC has been able to do.
Yeah.
But this Game of Thrones thing, and again, if you had asked me this last week, I'd probably say Walking Dead. But I'm so blown away by season 2. I gotta go Game of Thrones.
You're fresh into
and
it,
there's
too.
more boobs. That's the tiebreaker.
How about that explosion that happened
wildfire.
also? And I'm not talking about George R. R. Martin. I'm talking about the actual
my
so
gosh.
in the when they had like that green big explosion.
Christian.
What happened?
Yeah.
So they had that like it was the effects because the question is everyone that was reading the books was like I don't know how they're going to make this work and not look cheesy. And it looked like $100 million movie.
Yeah. Well, one of the reasons it did look good is that was one of the reasons they changed the battle tonight to help kind of make things out there. I was just watching the featurette last night on my Blu-ray last night. Home Alone.
Kenny also has a Bowflex.
Yeah, that's not true yet.
Smells like weed in here. What is that?
Riley left.
Yeah.
Well,
Sorry.
now
Go
we're talking
ahead,
about
Kenny,
the wildfire scene. I love that scene too because that's when Braun takes that arrow and there's that great moment where there's just silence and the arrow with the flame flying over.
It was so great. It's just
that's what they do so well.
the strategy behind that whole battle was so
There's
cool.
there's very few things that aren't Super Bowls the Redskins won that I can watch over and over again and be excited. And I'm actually I can't believe I'm saying this. I am actually going to watch from season 1. Like over. I want, and if somebody has the DVDs because this goddamn HBO Go thing. My internet's just not strong enough in my house to support this habit.
I have the DVDs.
So,
DVDs or Blueys?
That's shocking.
I have both.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Can I borrow your Blu-ray player as well?
No, it's my PS3.
I got one for you. I got one for you. Hey, you're in Schmoville, winding down on Game of Thrones. Who do we got?
It's Leanne in New Jersey. What's up, guys?
Hey, Leanne, what's up?
Leanne, thank you for making me Sir Jorah Mormont.
Oh, that was my pleasure, Ken, and you look fabulous as him. I swear to God you did.
Absolutely. So, Leanne, you're a big Game of Thrones fan. So, what are you looking forward to in season 3? And if you could have anybody win the crown, the crown? Sure.
Yeah.
The crown. Who would it be?
The Iron.
I got to go with Dinklage to win it all because I just think he's such a great character. And quite honestly, I don't care really what happens because it's such a great show that anything that does happen is going to keep me on the edge of my seat. But I just want to see more dragons.
Oh, well,
Honestly, I
Leanne,
think
in honor
that's
of that,
the
because
core part.
Leanne requested this earlier, so here you go, sweetie. She requested it. I give what the fans what they want.
You just made my night, dude. I swear to God you did.
Leanne, can you do me a favor before what I'm going to do is tweet me that Leanne did a picture of both Mark Ellis and our former co-host Katie Sackhoff as Mark as a dragon and Katie as Khaleesi.
Yeah.
Can you tweet that to me so I can retweet it so the fans can see that because that's a really great one.
Absolutely, I'm doing it right now.
Great. Thanks, Leanne.
Doing the Lord's work, sweetie.
All right, guys.
All right, guys. We got about 3 minutes here. We're still winding down, and it's a hell of a.
And just to recap, because I got the spotlight on me for a second. Kenny, you're taking Game of Thrones episode 1 over the end of Walking Dead.
I've never seen a second of Walking Dead.
Oh, because
zombies scare me.
Scare you. Tiffany, what do you got? You can either see the season finale of The Walking Dead.
The guns to your head.
I picked Game of Thrones because I feel like if you miss an episode, you miss so much.
Yeah.
With Walking Dead, I feel like it's so good. So I'm not trying to discount how good the show is, but I feel like someone could fill me in, and I wouldn't be so disastrous. But Game of Thrones, you're like, and then this person saw this person, and this happened, and you're like, what the freak are you talking about?
We have a special guest joining us right now on the phone who's also a big Game of Thrones fan and a big Schmoville fan, and that's Bonnie Somerville. Bonnie, hello.
It's Khaleesi to you, bitches.
What's up, Khaleesi?
Hey, Bonnie.
So, Bonnie, we're
Hi,
talking.
guys.
Hi,
Tiffany.
Hey, how are you?
So, how?
That's the best show ever. Sorry.
All right. So, you're all caught up, right?
I just caught up.
Okay. So, going into season 3 here, Bonnie, who do you think is really going to shine this season? What are you looking forward to the most? Let us know.
Well, I have to say, what's her name? Emily? That Khaleesi girl?
Yeah.
She's getting a lot of screen time, man. Like, she is like,
Blowing
they
up.
love her.
Yeah. She.
But I love Peter Dinklage. I mean, Peter Dinklage is so amazing to me.
Right.
I do have one problem, though, with Game of Thrones. Every single scene that they shoot is just the same set in front of each different castle. Like, you never see a city. You just see the same spot.
Really?
You know what I mean? Like, when they're at each castle, they only shoot, like, right in front of...
Oh, right. Well, I mean, but don't you think that whole that whole battle scene on season 2? I mean, granted, it was still in front of a castle too, but
I
it was
just feel like it's very small. Remember, you guys were talking about why you didn't like The Hobbit?
Yeah.
I don't know. For some reason, when I watched it, I feel like they're always shooting in the same little tiny space. Is it just me, or like the castle? It's always the same rooms. And I don't know. That made me a little claustrophobic. But I love the show. But it just felt a little.
Bonnie, this is Mark Ellis on your horn now. Let me ask you a question. When are we going to see dragons on your hit show, Golden Boy?
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. Hits. Come on. We need more viewers. Maybe if we get dragons, we'll get more viewers. What can we do?
Well, I'm a fan of the show, and I'm a fan of you, kiddo.
Yeah, Bonnie, thank you so much for calling in. Guys, make sure you check out Bonnie's show. It's on Tuesday nights, 10 p.m., CBS, Golden Boy. And again, you want to see Bonnie was scandalous.
Yeah.
Next week's episode is called Mackenzie on Fire. So
Wait, I have a question. Speaking of scandalous, Bonnie, is the lead guy on the show, was he on Downton Abbey?
Yeah, he was Tom Mook.
Oh, he's scandalous too.
Whoa.
I know. Don't mention it if you ever meet him. He's just like it was so long ago, and he's like, God, Americans are obsessed with Downton Abbey. I'm like, I know.
Bonnie, thank you so much for joining us. And
Hi, guys.
Can't wait to have you back on. Thank you, Bonnie Somerville, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so this is a really fun show.
We could go on and on.
I want to talk. I feel like we talked about who I think is going to end up on the throne, and there's someone missing.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be Gendry.
Which one's Gendry?
Gendry
He's
is
with
the
Arya,
blacksmith.
and he's
Oh,
Baratheon's real son.
That would be,
And he's supposed to be.
See, I thought that originally from the way that but this show's so unpredictable. Like, in predictable storytelling, that's the guy who takes the throne.
But I feel like it's because of what they said, where it's like the rise and fall this season. I feel like he's
No,
so on the bottom that.
Well, Johnny Ice is playing us off, but we got.
Don't forget, we are all going to be at WonderCon this Saturday in Anaheim.
Yes. If you're in WonderCon this Saturday, again, it's going to be a lot of us because Josh McCouga and JTI and Riley have better things to do. They're off on it. Kenny will be there.
Nothing better than
and one more
comics.
thing I'd like to say too. It's nice to have friends, and it's really nice when you give somebody a Twitter name like Shoozy Pants and he invites you to his party that he has. Thanks for doing that, pal. Appreciate it. So. So we will be at WonderCon this Saturday. Make sure you join us if you're there. Come say hello. Game of Thrones, a lot of fun, Mark.
Yeah, come say hi to us on Saturday. Don't look me in the eye because then you get hit.
Game of Thrones party at my house, 8 o'clock Sunday.
Let's do it. All right, guys. Thank you. For Schmoes No Podcast, make sure you follow us on Twitter. Again, go to iTunes, do the rate, the comment. Always check us out every Thursday night on the Toad Hop Network, and we'll see you next week. Who's our guest, Kenny? What do we got?
Who's our guest next week?
Don't worry about it.
Kathy Kelly from AfterBuzz TV and Shanola Hampton from Shameless.
Play us out, Johnny Ice.